ventricles from mountain peaks. And now the echoes rise to awaken flame within eternity. Today I walk the edge tonight. The golden sky will show. The crimson path will be my guide. So open your innermost mind and see. Feel that beat of the road to southern. Bloom in the dawn meditation. Carry the spark.
Gravy.
Buttered toast.
All right, all y'all mics are on. Tossing.
I think we're good. Good afternoon, everyone. What is going on? Oh, shit. I forgot to hit the record button. Good afternoon, everyone. What is going on? Episode 171 of the Software Gamers Podcast. I already know who I am, the host of Rex Empire. Right next to me, co-host Waluigi and Butter Punch.
Hi guys, how's it going? I know this too. We're double fisting this right now.
What do you mean? To the center, we have the return
of Amanda.
The heart container.
I know her.
And to her, is that your right?
My right.
To her right, three new guests: Soldier Luca, Prophet, and Real Law.
Sup. I also know these guys.
There we go.
One of them is famous.
I'm not famous. and if there's a famous one here, it's this guy to my right.
I was talking about that guy.
Sure.
It's really both of them,
If
for
the shoe
real.
fits, you know, we got two famous guys.
For those that are watching, appreciate y'all for pulling up and coming through. This is going to be a good episode, so we got some topics that we're going to go on. And first, I got to, get the formalities out the way. If you're new here on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, like, share this podcast. And, of course, on Twitch, same thing. And, of course, Facebook, same thing. And for our audio-only listeners, appreciate y'all for following and, checking us out as well. And if you're looking for us on podcasts, just Google Software Gamers Podcast, and you'll find us there. So,
in our podcast tradition for this episode, this is a special unique episode. We're talking about Tekken. Everyone in this on this table in this room have all played Tekken at some capacity level. Some more than others, especially on a competitive level. Some have played for years. So a lot of people in this room have about 30 years of experience in Tekken, or give or take years of old.
Not even at that level. I'm 25.
Guilty as charged. Guilty as charged.
All right, so our first one, the tapping law. The tapping.
Stop that.
All right. No tapping.
I want to ask everyone, what got you into Tekken? We're going to start with you.
He started pressing buttons already right now on the TV.
Pretty simple. I worked in the mall at an arcade. Tekken Tag 1 was out, and I got free games, so I decided to start playing. And I enjoyed it, learned all the 10 strings. The reason I got competitive before, at that time, was we had somebody that came in and knew the 10 strings before I did. So whenever he won, he did a slight little this at the end of the 10 string, hit the button, little this, kind of dismissive. And my egomaniac ass took that very personally, and that's what started pretty much everything. I had to learn all of them, and once I won, the first time I beat him, I did one of those at the end just to feel good about myself, and
The spite motivated
that's
you.
what started.
Yeah, despite the second it got personal, he's like, I got to get competitive.
That's the kind of egomaniac I am. I had to do that just to get back at him. Then I went into the Air Force, and for 6 years I didn't play, and then about 2004, I got back into it with Tekken 5 arcade release. That's when I really started kind of playing competitively. But before that, it was mostly casual.
Sorry to cut you off, but I did not know that you were a veteran.
I am. 1999 to 2005.
Wow.
I entered 99 to get my school paid for. And then, of course, 2001, everything changed, and I was active for 4 years after that. So,
Gotcha.
Right.
so I know you were a veteran as well. So.
Gotcha. Okay. First time learning. Prophet, what got you into Tekken?
Are we talking casually? Or are we talking competitively?
Both.
Yo.
How did you start?
Casually, it was just something you play at the time, right? Played the first one on the PlayStation. The real first one that I really started actually having enough brain to manage was Tekken 3 on the arcade cabinets. And I just saw the kicking character and then went wrong, and that's who I just mashed all the buttons with. But overall, I generally actually hated Tekken up until...
Sorry to cut you off, Prophet, but your mic is definitely not picking up. Grab Law's mic.
Ooh, we get to share.
Oh, yes.
Ooh, now they're double
At least we
fisting
have the
too.
stand for this one. Technically, if this isn't working, you guys can just take that stand.
Yeah. Swap it out.
See? Helping.
Yeah.
Test.
I don't know, man. I'm enjoying this.
Of course, Butters would.
Bro, it's like playing on an arcade
just take
stick,
the mic,
man.
and I'll just switch the outputs.
This actually works. Doesn't plug this.
Oh no, Butters doesn't get to hold it anymore.
Wait, I'm talking into the mic and it's not working.
No, plug the purple one back.
Oh shit, my bad. You can let go now.
It's a force of habit.
Yeah, he's a little too used to that.
Hello?
All right, go for it, Prophet.
All right.
So yeah, actually, out of the main 3D games, I didn't like Tekken the most. I was more of a Soul Calibur Dead or Alive guy.
Really? Okay.
Nice.
And so I preferred those, but my friends in 2015 or so were doing tournaments, and so therefore we were playing Tag 2, and I said then around that time Evo 2015 happened. They announced Tekken 7 for the PC, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get serious in that game since that's what we're playing here. And anytime I want to play a game, I try to be as competitive as possible with it, and that's how I'm here now.
Interesting. What made you like want to get that competitive spirit in there?
No, that's everything I do.
Everything?
Like, if I'm picking a game, I'm trying to be the best at it. There's just that I spent when that first 2 years of Tekken 7, I would eat, play Tekken. If I didn't have to work in the morning, play Tekken until 4 a.m., right?
Right.
Once I did go into work, or once I woke up and then before going into work, Tekken. Going to locals, every single one of them. Monday, getting my butt beat by Inca and Slick Sinister at Slick's house. So I literally just did a crap ton of Tekken.
Oh, wow.
Impressive. Wow. I can respect that tenacity.
I'm insane now because of it.
Was it worth your soul?
No.
The no is crazy.
All right, Soldier Luca.
So there's a little bit of a story. So when I was born, technically was when Tekken 2 got released. So 1995, right? But
Got the
Tekken 2
controller
was my
instantly.
first game as like a 5-year-old, first fighting game. I have very fond memories of like the music playing, the characters doing arcade mode, all that. So growing up, it was always kind of in the background for me. But I was never really super into it because similar to Sean over here, Prophet, he saw Soul Calibur, and I'm like, yo, these guys got swords. That's so cool. So my main actual casual game growing up was Soul Calibur. Soul Calibur 3 in particular. I loved the character customization, Chronicles of the Sword, etc. growing up. And that was the main game. But I always like sprinkled Tekken throughout, mainly at my cousin's house. They were like the Tekken house. We were like the Soul Calibur house.
Oh, nice.
Right? But like I was never really that deep into it. In high school, though, I got really competitive in Smash Brothers Brawl. I was straight up,
Mad respect.
like undefeated all of high school anime club in every Brawl tournament we had. I was a demon in that game, right?
Right.
And then I had a friend in college introduce me to Project M and would constantly four-stock me. And I'm like, yo, I was the best in my friend group, and I'm just getting washed. So that competitive drive was in Smash, in Project M. I'm not going to go too deep into Project M, but if you know that at that point in time, it was Project M 3.0. That's when I got into it. And then at Project M 3.6 is when Nintendo kind of hit the project development team and told them to cut that out. And that was kind of was like the scene here in South Florida. Because the Smash scene here, if you know, every single one, Melee, Ultimate, Project M is huge down here in South Florida. Project M in particular kind of died off with that development team dying off.
Right.
So I had this competitiveness in me, and I was going to, like him, every local for Smash. I was going every single time. I would grind there. We would grind fest everything. But I had that drive in me, and I was like, okay, I need another game. Tekken 7 was coming out. It was releasing. And I was an old Soul Calibur fan. I'm like, shoot, there's no new Soul Calibur.
Oh, yeah.
But I'll just play the other 3D fighter.
That's exactly what happened to me.
Yeah.
No new Soul Calibur, no new Dead or Alive. Guess it's Tekken.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
it's Tekken,
I
yeah.
was like, okay, I'll play the other 3D fighter they got. And I got really into Tekken 7 that way. That's how I really started getting. I was like, I'm going to spend that competitive energy into Tekken 7. You can, in fact, if you go on my YouTube, you can find my first ever ranked match in Tekken 7. Day 1 Tekken 7, my baby 3-hit combo I had with Kazumi. You could see it. It's on YouTube
Year
from
one
years
of
ago,
Tekken
and it's so
7.
funny looking back at it. But like that is how I got into Tekken. It's just always been in the background. Absence of Soul Calibur, absence of Project M scene. Needed a new game, and Tekken kind of fulfilled that for me.
Fascinating stuff.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, I love that.
All right, Amanda, what got you into Tekken?
For me, for Tekken, I've kind of talked about it on the podcast a little bit
Yeah.
before. But I kind of grew up with every video game because of my brother, who's like 11 years older. He had like every console, every video game. And I kind of played a lot of fighters with him growing up. And my favorite games were King of Fighters and Soul Calibur. And I got really deep into Smash. So I actually came from like the Smash community. And I had friends that competed in that. And I wasn't as serious. I wasn't able to learn combos. I wasn't really good at any of that. Soul Calibur was the only game where I kind of tried to learn combos to an extent. So I was more of just a casual masher kind of player. And then I met my husband, and I was like with Jason, and he told me about Tekken because somehow I had entirely missed that game. I didn't know it existed. I didn't know what Tekken was.
Oh my god.
So I grew up with every fighter in every game, but I
Saying he
didn't.
ruined your life?
Yeah.
Tied you down
But-
both in real life and in Tekken.
But
Crazy.
I didn't know that. I didn't know what Tekken was, and he really liked the game, and I wanted to support him. So I was like playing, and I was like, "This game's pretty fun." And he wanted to join the tournaments when I started working with Linz for stuff, and I was like, "All right, I'll try joining." And I was just playing Lily like casually, and I started getting more into it. And the more I worked with Senpai and all these other people that were running tournaments, I got an opportunity to be able to run tournaments with my own business and everything. So I was like, we should do Tekken because you love Tekken, and then we'll do a really popular game right now, which was Guilty Gear. So we did Strive, and we did Tekken, and we started at Unbranded Brewery with like TVs because we didn't know what to have. We started with our TVs. Shout out to Femto and like the OG players that came at the start, and Profit eventually like showed up to those. So we had shitty TVs, shitty PS4s, and a big echoed room. And we started streaming on like our computer with shitty mics and kind of like grew into it. And I learned about the scene, and I learned about how to run stream and everything like much more just as I did it and found out from the community. And it became like a really important thing to me. And I started actually trying to study the game more. Jason used to train me, and he helped me learn combos since I suck. So he had to teach me my own things to like kind of understand. And then just playing constantly with everybody, I started getting better and like understanding it. And that's kind of how I just picked up Tekken.
That's how you became the best.
Yeah, that's how I became the GO.
Okay. All right. All right, Butters, what about you? What got you into Tekken?
So like I think picking back off of Amanda's thing, like I played Tekken 3 when I was a kid, and funny enough, I did play Horang at that point. I was like, oh yeah, this guy's kicking, this guy's fun. Then I did that casually, right? Fast forward to Tekken 4, did the same thing. Tekken 5, I played Jin. This was all still casual, like friends would come over and we'll just like mash buttons. I think it didn't really get a little more nuanced until Tag 2, where I found out that there was like fun characters that you could like do combos with. At that point, I tried Bob, and I was like, "Oh, this guy's cool, fellow big backs," you know. I loved it. But that was still somewhat casual at that point. It wasn't until like Flint started doing the Tekken stuff at Tekken 7. I remember Amanda would just come up to people and be like, "Hey, you want to play Tekken?" And I was like, all right, yeah, sure, why not?
I kept bothering him specifically. I was like, we need more people for Tekken. You should join. All these other people are playing all these other fighters. So I'd be like, hey, you, join us. Try Tekken.
Yeah, I remember.
You could be so good.
I remember after like the third or fourth one, I was like, you know what? She's trying. Let me give it a good old college try. And I think my earliest memory of that was Miss My Friends would, I can't remember the character's name, but it's the girl with the glasses, and she was a streamer, Julia. He would do the elbow move on me. I think it was back one. And I was like,
Good old party crasher. I know the name of the movie.
yeah. I was like, yo, what the fuck is this move, man? I can't do anything. And I was using Asuka because at that point, that's what they told me to use as a beginner's character. Got washed. And I was like, all right, cool. This is a lot for me. I'll like take this as I go. And then it wasn't until Tekken 8 had released that I was a little more invested in trying it out, because I was trying out different fighting games and deciding to compete in them for at least a year. At that point, Uni 2, Under Night in Birth 2, and Tekken 8 came out the same week. So I was like, I guess I'm splitting my time between two. And now I'm still playing both. And I have to say, Amanda's running the locals at TLT, and the community there made me really enjoy the energy that's there. And that really was a big motivator for me to stay and play as often as I do now.
That's right. We stole you.
No, listen. I'm here on like a rental. Like,
No, you're a Tekken player now.
no.
You're
The
one of
Under
us.
Night,
One of
the Under
us.
Night community needs me. Please.
Not on this podcast.
Too late. Not on this podcast.
Like the 7 people here. Witnesses.
Waluigi, what about you?
All right, twist that side.
So it started as a young kid. So like I saw Tekken 2 and I'm like, this is the coolest thing. Why is there a jaguar head with a guy wearing sweatpants? I was questioning King and everybody else, but as a child, I'm like doing the arcade mode because I didn't have any friends to play with competitively. And I'm like, there's a little movie of every character. So I love looking at these cutscenes of everybody specific. My favorite one was I forgot this guy who played sumo trying to propose to Julie and get rejected.
Ganryu.
Good for you. Yeah.
That was one of my favorite scenes. Seeing every bit of the story on how Tekken's developed is very unique. But I didn't really get competitive until Tekken 7. And I just did online. And then just said, hey, I think I'm good enough to do CEO. Got O2'd.
Nice.
That's how it all starts. Always starts.
But as went on, like the original game I played, Bandai Namco, was like Soul Blade 2. So like before Soul Calibur.
Yeah.
I know
totally.
Prophet's looking at me like, this is elite ball knowledge.
All knowledge.
No, Soul Edge is my favorite.
And I played Cervantes, but that's not important. But yeah, for Tekken 7, I played Steve Fox. I loved his movement. I loved understanding the game. But the only time in recorded history I played Tekken 8 competitively was the beta. I won a whole tournament playing Paul, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can do Korean backdashes. I know how to do this. Because a guy in my organization, Island, taught me how to, from Hawaii, named Kiala. Yes. Ever since then, I've been watching the scene grow and how Harada has like made the game. So I'm always watching. I may not play competitively, but I do enjoy watching players go at it. It is a beautiful sight. For a competitor,
Complain about it.
yes, it's entertainment. It's peak.
Oh,
Saying you hate certain people or like how certain movements happen. It's the most entertaining thing. Like I'm here TOing watching beef sets happen in 4K quality. As like a perspective of that, it is hilarious. You cannot make this up or replicate it in any other games except for Tekken or other fighting games.
Yeah, I will say I didn't even mention myself how I got into the competitive part. I kind of skipped over that. But
Yeah, that's why I blend both casual, like talking about the credit scenes and everything else, and how Tekken's made, and how everyone.
Half an hour if I talked about competitive.
no, yeah, that's the thing.
30 years is a long time.
Also, I just love how everyone understands each other. I'm trying to figure that out still to this day. How the fuck do you understand bear?
It's like repetition, or you get hit with some jank and you're like, all right, I need to not get hit with this anymore. I need to figure this out. I
What I
cannot
mean
let it
is, like,
happen.
how does everyone in Tekken understand each other?
Oh, the language?
Oh, the language.
I kind of like that they just let that
Nah,
rock.
that's just that universe.
It's a
bro.
kind of quirk of
Imagine
the
if
game.
life was like that.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be
Yeah.
sick.
I feel like as like secondary language speakers, like they can relate to that because like as a Spanish speaker, right? My parents kind of raised me of like they'll talk to
Need to
me
get
in
close to the
Spanish.
mic,
Oh, word, my bad, G. Give me that. I'm gonna fist this. So I feel like secondary language speakers can like relate to this. Like I speak Spanish, right? But my parents raised me where they would talk to me in Spanish, and low key I would talk to them in English. So I would be like, all right, yeah, they'll talk to me in Spanish. I don't know what the word is, and then I'll speak to them in English, and they'll be like, oh yeah, I know what that word is. So like we get to replicate that a little bit. But once I got Spanish classes in like high school, I was able to like proficiently speak. But I love that little funny dialogue that can be shared.
Yeah,
What
everybody
about
speaks
Jaguar?
Jaguar, he just goes, "Rrr," and they're like, oh yeah,
There's-
he wants some
dude.
coffee, bro.
There's straight up a
What's the
scene in
concept?
Tekken 8 where it's Shaheen, Steve, King, and Victor all speak to each other in the same scene. All of them, of course, speaking their languages in Jaguar. It's actually hilarious, but it's great.
I love that lore of
Alright.
Tekken.
So yeah, that's my quick summary of how I got into Tekken. What about you, Silver?
I got into Tekken with Tekken 3 on the PlayStation 1 and at an arcade cabinet at a laundromat, because back then when laundromats had like arcade cabinets, that was like your first gateway into like playing fighting games. Same thing with Street Fighter 2 and then with Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3 and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
so,
shout out Soul Edge and shout out Killer Instinct for being in every laundry arcade cabinet all the time. I play that shit nonstop.
Yeah, so that's how I got into Tekken 3, and I didn't know what I was doing. It just looked cool because it was a 3D fighter compared to the 2D fighting games I was so used to growing up. And from then on, I didn't have like a dedicated character up until Tekken 5, and Law became like my dedicated character from Tekken 5, then Tekken 6, and Tekken Tag 2, which I still love to this day.
How's your internet, bro? Do you use your Ethernet?
What for?
For Tekken, bro, you play Law.
Hey, I just work with what I got, I just work with what I got. Listen, I know it was atrocious back in them early years, especially because I was on a PS3 and yeah, PS3 with Tekken 6 and Tekken Tag 2.
Oh my!
But I had fun. So I can't complain. And then
I don't think anyone else did.
Unreactable low sweeps.
And then I played a little bit of, and then when Tekken 7 finally dropped, I bought that day one and I played it, and then I completely stopped until I was watching Evo and I was watching Lil Majin, and
legendary run.
Yeah, and then that reinvigorated my love for Tekken to come back to it again, and I started playing Law on Tekken 7, and then of course started running locals and whatnot, which I had no idea on how to like run a local, and up until I met Prophet, who was like guiding me on, okay, this is what you have to do, you need to get this, getting that and whatnot. And so I started to learn from other people like Prophet. There was also Miss My Friend and what was his name, dark skinned dude,
CEO of Darkness.
CEO of Darkness, yep, him, and
Rip the goat.
a lot of Colada. Like those four helped me start Tekken, even though it was small, but it was like my start into running competitive tournaments for Tekken. And then I've been doing that for years. And then with Tekken 8, which I did play Tekken 8, but I didn't get into it competitively because I was still stuck on Grand Blue. And I'm still stuck on Grand Blue. So yeah. But will I return to Tekken 8? I don't know. There's Marvel Tokon, so the answer is probably not.
Season 3 will save us, bro. What do you mean?
Season 3 is on the horizon.
Yeah, so that's how I got
Back to
into Tekken.
basics.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Back to basics.
Crazy.
Alrighty. Our next topic is, what are your most memorable moments playing Tekken? Your most memorable.
Oh, we
moments.
got some
This I
stories at this
wanna hear.
table.
So we're gonna start with Real Law.
I want the deep lore.
The
for
most
this one.
famous memorable moment.
Well, most people will say that the couple exhibitions that I played against Pork Chop, those are everybody else's most memorable time. I've heard countless amount of people say they started Tekken or they got into Tekken because of those exhibitions, which is also cool. Not not the bust bubbles or anything. Those are after I was done playing, but they were fun. They were great times. Helped Ricky out a lot, especially with his popularity, my popularity as well. But they're as far as me playing as a competitive player, because I had been done being a competitive player 3 years prior to that, to 2015. I was done at 2012 as a competitive player, as far as traveling and stuff like that. I know I play now, but I mean going everywhere. I was the first East Coast player in Tekken 6 to be sponsored for MLG. So that was actually, I was the first player to be paid to go play across seas. I got to play in Italy, in Milan for a week. End up getting fourth at that tournament, the only American that actually showed up. I was supposed to go with DJ Core and NYC Fab. They weren't able to go. So internationally, I got to go and play in one of the hot spots in Europe, which Italy's always been a great area for Tekken since Tag 1. Got to play one of my idols, someone who's old to me, so could you imagine? I got to play Bodhi, who's a Tekken legend. I got to play him in tournament. End up winning 3-1. Meeting people, a lot of people that I got to meet along the way when I first started competitively in T5. Meeting Tom Hilfiger, meeting Bronson, meeting Aurario, Brian H., who was my travel partner for most of my playing career. Meeting those guys was probably like people come up to me and want me to sign things. It's probably the same level as that. But that's as far as memorable stuff. That's stuff that I'll always remember. You know, no matter what people say about other things, you know, that's my, you know, doing top fours at majors, at regionals, and top eights at majors, and driving 12 hours from New York to Atlanta to get a top 16.
No way, that's so far.
Overnight, and still making the next day, playing straight through with no sleep, stuff like that. Stuff like that sticks with me. So you guys talk about dedication. How about just on a whim getting a phone call from Fighting GM saying, "Hey, Atlanta's talking about you. They're saying you're scared to come here." And then hopping in your car, driving 12 hours, no sleep. Larry, who was a tournament organizer, let me in because there was an open slot, and I went through the bracket, got through to the next day. So that's something that's memorable to me. That's how Tekken affected my life. So yeah, so those are some of the most memorable things, you know, besides the most infamous ones.
Atlanta was talking. It was crazy.
And then you pulled up just to cook them.
I mean, you could hear them in the background. You could hear certain voices in the background in slow Southern talk. You know, you're scared to come over here. It was like, all right.
Gotta lock in.
But yeah, that's what started the whole Atlanta. I mean, Atlanta and New York was always, you know, pretty heavy. But DR and Tekken 6, that's when New York versus Atlanta stuff was at its height. You know, not so much anymore. That's a lot of New York East Coast and West Coast stuff. That's when that was at its height as well. Stuff isn't as regional based now as it used to be. Everybody's kind of, you know, everybody's like nicey nice now. But back when I played, I hate to sound like that guy, where it was like, well, back in my day, you know, this is like prior, like internet was a thing, but obviously we didn't travel as much. So like foreign players would come. You know, I know I'm running on with the answer, but just to foreign players coming to events are normal for you guys. You guys see Pakistanis and Koreans and Japanese.
Right.
Once a year, they would go to a tournament. And that's when all of us would go to a tournament to make sure that, A, we beat that region, especially if it was in that region. I went to NorCal for Strong Style, me, Fab, and GM, and a few other New York players, and we made sure that we repped and we won the team tournament versus every other region there. And then we showed our money, and there's a picture of us holding their money.
Just let them know.
Just let them know. We had to take a picture that we sent it to everybody. And we OCV'd each one of their teams. Each one of their teams, me and Fab and GM took turns OCVing their teams. So one character victory over each one of those teams. Even in the grand finals when we beat San Diego, Fab OCV'd that team. And when none of us could play any other match because we end up just beating them that way. So that's another one of a memorable moment for me as well. So I have a few.
All right,
That's
well
beautiful.
said, man.
Here you go, buddy.
Prophet,
The
what
rap
are
sheet
your
was hard.
memorable moments playing Tekken?
The memorable moments.
Pull the
funny
mic close.
enough,
Pull the mic.
The memorable moments, funny enough, end up generally being more of the meme moments than the victory moments, right?
okay.
I've got a lot of videos out there about me that have been made fun of for quite some time. That's actually how I got most of my notoriety, so to speak, or, you know, fame with Tekken. Is a lot of people see a lot of clips. In Tekken 7, I didn't know this. I just used to stream just for the heck of it. But a lot of me and my reactions, they got caught on clip channels where people would clip it and send it into the clip compilations. So I found out I was in one of those like every other week. And no one told me. And so I'm sitting here just like I'm like, who are these people? Why are they coming into my stream other than me meeting them at like regionals and stuff like, or majors and stuff like that? And it's just like, oh hey, here's you on this YouTube clip. And I'm just like,
Not even an introduction.
Nah.
yeah, it's just like, oh yeah, I found you from here. I'm like, oh okay, cool. And so a lot of making those moments is, funny enough, a lot of where my greatest memories are. Like, sure, you get a couple wins on stream at a major, right? And that will do it for you, you know.
Yeah.
The first time you make it out of pools, and then the next time you make it out of pools versus a very strong opponent, like things like that are like some of your best feeling moments, right? But for me, it's a lot of the memes, a lot of the fun, the laughter, stuff like that, that like is just always going to be what sticks with me.
Yeah, there's emotes and pictures of Prophet that are nonstop
Against
set
my will,
throughout
please.
the chat. We got the last CEO, that picture with Ultima. That's everywhere. We got a picture recently at Juicy. That's everywhere.
Very photogenic guy.
The emotes are just the funniest
photogenic.
thing.
It's just memeable, and then I end up getting compared to a turtle making a face.
That's just natural.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's so beautiful. I love that.
All right, Luca, what about you? What are your most memorable moments?
So it's gonna be kind of interesting following up those two. We got some big competitive moments, some memeable moments. I think I have more normal moments compared to a lot of players. Like one of the big moments that I had for me was like in Tekken 7, playing ranked. I had no one I knew played Tekken. I didn't know about the scene at the time, so I'm just playing ranked, and everyone knew that like the big hurdle for new players in online Tekken 7 ranked was green ranks. They called it green rank hell. Just trying to get out of green ranks is such a mission, so hard, so difficult. You're getting knowledge checked constantly. You don't know frames. You're still learning your own character. It's a hard time. So getting Warrior, the first yellow rank, which now you just get for free in Tekken 8, but that's beside the point. Getting Warrior.
Back in my day.
That shit's a war.
But getting Warrior for the first time was a big deal. Like literally every year on Facebook memories, I see my post of like, oh, I got Warrior. Because not only did I get Warrior, but the day I got Warrior, I forget what event was happening, but there was like a gaming cafe LAN center near me that was actually hosting a Tekken event. So I decided, like, when I saw that, I was like, oh, I'm going to try to attend that one. So I actually went out the first time, the same time I got Warrior rank. So that's a pretty memorable moment. I didn't do very well in the bracket. I got beat up. But getting that rank and attending that was memorable. In another memorable moment would be in Tekken 8, early Tekken 8. Thanks to Amanda for allowing me, but I was a commentator, so I see a lot of the matches going on in our stream, and I have a pretty good sense of the strength of the players because I see who's making top 8s. I commentate a lot of their matches. And like early on Tekken 8, I call them the 3 premier players of SoFlo. One of them right next to me, Prophet, BB Buckets. Rest in peace. He's not dead, but he don't play right now.
He's not dead.
Right? And Inca.
We lost him to bachata, I think. He's like dancing.
And Inca, right?
That man
Yeah, we
is
lost him
dancing
to the
his life
Latinas,
away right
bro.
now.
I love buckets. But anyway, so it's Prophet, BB, and Inca. Those were like the premier players. If those 3 were in the bracket in SoFlo, like you knew one of them was taking the bracket. So one of the memorable moments for me early on was I in a TLT off-stream match, me versus Prophet, going to game 3. I like duck one high. I launch him. I do tornado rage art. And then he puts his hand out thinking he's dead. I'm still not sure if he's dead. We're watching the whole animation play out. He dies. We fist bump. I get that dub. But the part that makes it memorable, not only is beating the premier player, forgetting the salt Prophet tweet after the fact.
I knew where this was going the moment he started this story.
Yep. And I remember the tweet. It was 100. The tweet was like, Reina 100% is carrying players to wins. That was the tweet.
1,000%.
That was the tweet.
If you get the
1,000
Prophet salt tweet, you know you made it.
1,000%.
Look,
But-
know you made it.
But I got my revenge later on that night. And
He did get me on the loser side, but that was a memorable moment as well for me. My first Evo was for Tekken 8. So just last year, it was my first Evo. I made it out of pools, also a memorable moment. And I'll never forget, because now that I was really into the scene with Tekken 8, there was a handful of us that went to Evo. So I had like our buddy Doc Coy and others watching my pool and watching me play. And I remember I was fighting this Raven player to make it out of pools in Winterside. And then Coy specifically told me, he's like, yo, that low health sweep, you just holds forward after he knocks you down. I don't know why it does a weird get up, but then you'll be able to do something after the fact. All right, game 3 happens. He hits me with that low health sweep. I do what he told me, gets out of there, and then I wall splat the Raven immediately for the win. It was like perfect, beautiful, and that got me out of pools. I still have the Chipotle card that I earned for getting out of pools.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big memorable moment. And probably the last one that I'll mention, again, T8, was getting GOD rank. Like, I know people say online doesn't matter or whatever, but like in Project M, the last really competitive game I was really into, like there's no leaderboard. You can't really tell, you just kind of go off of like results of majors or whatever. And I couldn't really travel back then. I didn't have the cash like that. But with online, it's like I've never been like, top 2% of like anything, So seeing that, like I told myself I was going to go hard on Tekken 8 and that it actually panned out, not only like at local results, making top 8s, even winning a few locals, but also getting the big shiny PNG. Like that's pretty cool, and that was pretty memorable for me as well, playing it. So those are probably most memorable moments for me.
Okay, all right, that's good, man. I love this. Amanda,
I got a crazy rap sheet. Well, first I'll say, talking about the Prophet Salt tweet, it's not me, but for my partner, for Jason. The first time he ever got that was for Tekken 7, and that shit, it's still memorable to me because that shit was hilarious.
See, once again,
was
this
so
is
funny.
how all the memes and stuff happen, because now I can't
Jason
even
was
tweet.
Jason was like newer to being in tournaments, but he was cooking so hard with Zafina back then and like actually beating like such high level people, and he managed to beat Prophet that one time. And this man went off on Twitter saying he had nightmares, like he couldn't sleep because of Zafina. And that was so funny.
The Hurong v Zafina matchup still sucks. Sucks hard to this day. Just, it's always going to.
We couldn't stop dying. We were like, we made this man not be able to sleep, bro. I don't know if he's ever going to want to play this game again. So that was just like a funny one. But since being in this community and doing all this stuff, I've had like amazing opportunities that I didn't expect to be able to do. Like I've ended up being a commentator for places like Holiday Matsuri, places like Otaku Fest with you guys. I've guest commentated for like the Fighter Fest regionals and stuff like that. And I laid off of commentating a bit since I don't know my things as well. So I wanted to like be able to study it more before I did that. But just getting into hosting and everything, my first CEO, I was like, we're going to try to do a side tournament. And I did a side dojo and had people like Super Akuma there. And I had like 70 something people. And we were like, that's insane. It was like such big numbers for us to do on our little like laptop setup that we tried streaming. And it's on our YouTube. And it became a thing that we kept doing that every year to a point where I had all of the Korean players for a tournament, and I had Pina and I had John Ding and all these other people. I got a photo with all of the Korean players, all of the Japanese players. Like, it was such a awesome moment to be around these like Tekken celebrities, and I was actually like nervous like around them. And even one year, I literally had to go and fight Arslan for like my first match, and he's like my favorite Tekken player. So, and I was in my Zafina cosplay, and he like recognized it and thought it looked really cool, and I got a photo with him. And he was gonna play Zafina if I played Zafina. I didn't understand. It was like a miscommunication, but I don't actually play her. I played Katarina at the time. So he didn't end up playing her, which was sad. But I was on stream for everyone to see for my first match, and I got to launch him like twice. And if it wasn't for the fact I was so unbelievably nervous because my favorite player was there, I could have actually did my combos and at least got like a few rounds, which to me is insane for my level to be able to get that on him.
I thought I was your favorite player.
I think. I think it needs to be. Wait.
You guys are up there.
It needs to be said. One of those launches was a snake edge.
I snake edged Arslan Ash,
Arslan.
and I hop kicked Arslan Ash, and that shit I'll never let it go because I'm like, bro. Everyone was surprised. Everyone in the background was like screaming, but they all made me so nervous, and me being on stream first made me so nervous, and being with him made me so nervous that I dropped it. I didn't do anything, and I had combos. I could have done some things. So that made me super nervous, but it was super memorable. It did lead to like a really random thing, but for some reason, when they put the VODs up, they wrote the Heart Container, and the full name is the Heart Container Cafe because I have a like cafe and that's like my business and everything. So it's like a whole thing. And they wrote THCC on like the YouTube, but for some reason people kept reading it as thick. And I'm already like a thick person. I was a little thicker then. So all the comments were like, yeah, she is thick. And it was like things like that. And I'm like, oh my God.
Being a woman in gaming.
And
holy.
like all the comments were just people being like, yeah, go thick. And like things like that. And I was like, oh my God, it stands for the Heart Container. They're like, why did they name it Arslan and Thick with Thick Girl? And then there was like hate comments of people being like, why is she fighting Arslan? She's so bad or whatever. It's just because they put me on stream. It was like the first like match. Okay, I'm not like Arslan's level to be fighting him.
The O2ers deserve to be on stream eventually.
Yeah.
At some point in time.
So I'm like,
everyone's
dude,
round one
I
is
was
gonna
like,
be
you
there
guys
eventually.
fight Arslan ass. See how far you guys go. Like, so those were all pretty like memorable moments. I also like when I did do one of the it was like MetroCon tournaments. It was like one of the furthest I've ever gone by myself. There was like 40 something people, and I actually made top 8 for that, which is really good for me because I'm not like a crazy competitor compared to everyone else. And I was really proud of how I played, and I was on stream, and I was like doing a really good job. And I was in a Morgan cosplay, and people were also just thirsting throughout the entire chat. Or they were arguing about like my size and weight and being like, oh, I don't know, like she's thicker or whatever. And they're like, more to grab, even better. And like they were fighting about it. They were literally fighting about it in the comments. They're like, no, it's even better that she's like that. And they're like, no, it's not. And I'm like, bro, focus on my game.
Yeah, it's like, yo, but check out my Safina. Check out my Katarina.
I was cooking. So
check out this counter hit. Like,
I don't get that in our community here with our locals and everything. Everyone's really respectable and really nice. And I was worried that was something that would happen when I was competing and I was playing. I thought people would be like more sexist or against like a woman and be like she's not good or whatever. You know, I don't think I'm D tier. But but you know, I play too.
They don't know the lore on that.
People will know, the ones who know. But I do play like consistently when I do get to be in tournaments and stuff. I don't get to practice as much. My life's like really busy. But a lot of the people at the locals and everything are respectable, and they do like respect how I play and that I actually care about the game. So it's nice to have that with my community. But yeah, I've got so many opportunities to commentate and travel and go to CEO and go to these places and work with Jabali and these people and like meet these cool people that are organizing and run these big dojos. And now I've been doing my Tekken Legacy like regional that I do every 6 months, which is coming up March 22nd. You guys will see. And I get people like King Ray Jr. consistently coming to stuff like that and slowly like getting more and more of these like high level players and meeting all these people. And it's become a big part of my life. And I think it's really cool that I've gotten to experience all of that.
Okay.
Another Tekken Tour event right after a big balance patch. We just keep doing it every time.
I literally
last
thought that
Tekken-
in my head.
I can't help
like,
it. I plan it for every 6
The
months.
last Tekken Tour event. The last Tekken Tour event was the first week of season 2. This one's gonna be the first week of season 3. We're in there. Come to South Florida.
Your luck is probably almost as bad as Jabali's
It's
at this
planned
point.
every 6 months, and then they're like, "We're
just
gonna
have to
throw
ask
out
you
the
every
patch and a
bounce
new
patch
character like right before," and I'm like, "Well, my thing was already planned. I'm sorry."
All right, Butters, what about you? Your most memorable moments playing Tekken?
So I want to start with the big one, right? And I had to like pull up the receipts for it. So everybody knows I started playing Tekken competitively with 8. So at this point, I was like trying to learn how to play the game, and I had committed to the idea of using Jin, as I understood he was the poster boy. So I imagined he's designed in a way that would teach you Tekken. So I played him for like that first year, and I went to CEO of that year, and I had Buckets nearby. BB Buckets, my goat. And I would ask him, okay, could you like be my coach for like this pool run that I'm doing? Because he was like in between like his other pools, but he had some time. So he's like, yeah, I could totally do that. So, you know, I go through my pools. He gives me some coaching. I beat like, I think 3 or 4 players at this point. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, you know, I'm not buns, but man, that down 2 for Jin really carried me. And I'm really happy about that. So we fast forward to a stream match, and I had to fight the player at the time. His name was Dojin. I believe he was from Vietnam, was it? Or Philippines, yeah. And so I didn't know him at the time because this was still year 1 for me in Tekken. So getting to know all the history of Tekken and all the players, it was still new to me. So I was like, okay, cool. This guy seems really chill. So I hop on and we go on stream, and I believe he goes Lars for this match. And, you know, I try to do my thing, and then like Buckets comes by and he's like, you're not going to make it out of this one. I'm like, well, what are you talking about? He's like, dude,
W coach.
he's like, I'm gonna tell you what I see, but I'm gonna have to tell you, bro, you're cooked. And I'm like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah, W coach right
I was
there.
like, all right, cool. He's like, just do your best. I'm like, all right, cool. I do my thing, right? And like maybe I get like a round or 2, but once he started his offense with Lars, I could not do anything. I felt so scared to press. And when I wanted to press, he just knew that was the moment I would press and just get washed. And I lose, right? You know, I get out of the bracket at this point. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. And later that day, Bandai Namco makes a tweet about that match. And he says, and I think the lines were, it was like a dialogue, imaginary dialogue between Lars and Jin. And Jin's like, hey, you're not a real Mishima. And then Lars goes, oh, yeah, really? And it's just a 30-second clip of me getting my ass beat by Jojin's Lars.
I think I
And I'm
remember
like,
that
damn.
tweet, and I was like, yo, buddy's famous.
Yeah, I'm famous, getting my ass beat in front of the whole world. And I was like, word, okay. And I find that moment so hilarious and like memorable for me, because it's like, I didn't recognize until like the end of the whole tournament that Dojin got 3rd that tournament. And I was like, holy shit, this guy's like fucking goated. I'm so happy to have met him. But like I also got a cool moment of like being on the internet as a highlight for the day. I got a couple followers for that, so it was really nice. So that was easily one of my favorite big moments, just being a little memory for CEO of that year. And I'd say that's like the biggest one. The other ones that I really like are just more general moments within 10th Level Tavern, where like at this point in year 2, I decided to go with Azucena. You know, Latinas go. That's dope.
We love Latinas.
We love Latinas out here. And at this point, she was nerfed to like not be as strong as she was in year 1. And I liked that idea, because then in my head, it's like, okay, cool. Then I won't have to worry about like it being worse. It only hopefully gets better here from here, or I just stick with the same character and nothing changes. So I went with that. And it was a lot more difficult, like trying to improve in that game, because Jin had so many more tools to work with. And Azucena was much more streamlined. She was easier, but that means you had to be that much more proficient in the fundamental level of Tekken, I think. It was a lot harder to just get wins or do anything. I had to really dig deep and improve as a player myself. And that a lot of players in the local would recognize that. It would be like, hey, we're seeing you're improving a lot. Like, you're not, like, I wasn't winning, but I was able to get rounds. There was a lot more nuances in my matches, and people would be like, dude, you're doing great. You're doing better. Just keep at it. And I think those moments are really, that's really helpful, because when you're playing in a game that's really new, and more so if you play like other games in the future and you've performed a lot better in your other games, it gets discouraging when you pick a new game and you're not performing as well as you'd like, but there's other players who recognize your improvement. And I think those moments are really valuable to me as a player, and I really cherish those a lot. So I'd say between that little meme story and then like those moments of like sense of improvement, being recognized from other players is really, really nice. So I'd say those are my things.
All right.
Yeah.
Well said. Waluigi?
My favorite moment was watching Butters get his ass kicked on Twitter. that alone was one of the funniest things I've had to repost.
He's running the island page.
Yeah, I'm the social media manager. And writing that moment was probably the funniest thing I had. I had tears coming down my eyes.
Everybody saw it. It was hilarious.
Oh yeah, everyone and their mother, but that's not important. But I think my favorite like casual competitive moment I've had was teaching people about Steve, how he has a jumping kick that just does a stomp into a punch. I hit a poor guy who was playing Asuka who was super confident. He's like, yeah, I've been playing for like a couple months. I'm ready for my first local. Just sees me do this multiple times, cheesing the poor guy out. So every time he brings it up, he's like, man, I hate you for this.
Who is this?
He's a photographer that goes by, I forgot.
The Panda?
Red Panda Captures.
Red Panda Captures.
That's his new name.
He's a photographer for a lot of like Flynn's events and like other cons. But he'll play casually with us every
His
once
tag
in a while.
used
He got
I
it.
was like, who?
His
Yeah,
tag used
yeah,
to be
gotta
that
fill you
weird
in.
one. His name is Danny. His tag used to be that weird one. He changed
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
okay,
used to
there
be
you
that
go.
weird.
Yeah,
one.
He got a
traumatized
sick
him.
photo of me and Inca at Fighter Fest where I got a huge
still use
upset
that
win
shit.
on Inca, and he got the fist bump behind us. You see the victory screen in front.
Oh,
it
hell
was
yeah.
such a tight photo. I was like, oh, I got third on that Fighter Fest. That was a memorable moment right there.
Yeah,
That
that's
just
our-
came to me.
That's so beautiful.
Oh, yeah,
He's
that's-
our FGC guy.
Oh yeah, that's my goat, but he'll never let me like live because of that moment alone. And then online, I think I've had one funny moment where a guy who's played for so many months just encounters me again playing Steve, and he's playing Yoshi having an armor move, and I just hit Rage Art. I did not care. I'm just like, I'm gonna hit it anyways and see if he parries it. Did not parry it. Then also winning a DK Battle Lounge is a Tekken beta where I just played Paul. Down forward 2 works every single time.
Truly unblockable.
It still
Unpunishable.
does, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, it does. And I didn't even know he had a parry.
Best down for 2 in the game.
Damn right.
Ducks under high says thank you.
But yeah, that's one of my favorite memories. And now I'm going to try to create a new one by getting convinced to play Tekken again by this man over here.
Good.
I want to teach him Asuka.
One of us.
Alrighty, that's it for me.
All right. As for me, I don't have a lot of memories. It just only with Tekken 7, and that was during the pandemic. I was when I was streaming on Facebook, when Facebook gaming used to be a thing or whatnot. Not anymore,
yeah.
but when it used to be a thing, and I was literally like one of the top 3 streamers for Tekken 7. So,
Oh, wow.
and I was averaging between 30 to 50 viewers like on a nightly basis when I was like actively streaming Tekken 7. Like that was like my most memorable moment, and then just seeing myself being like one of the top 3 streamers on that platform, that was very exciting for me. So yeah, that's it for me. Like Tekken 8, I haven't dived into it, so yeah.
Real.
That is really cool.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I only have 3 weeks left. That's more than enough time.
All right. Our next topic, and this is going to be a very interesting one because I can't wait to hear y'all takes on it. What would you like to see change for the better future of Tekken?
How much time do we have?
Whatever your passion allows, we want
Listen, that's going to
everything.
take a week.
Law, go for it.
And that's with profit alone.
I will say they learned a lot from their season 2 failure. Hopefully,
Hopefully, yeah.
and hopefully that they learned that every string shouldn't track. They should learn that to try to, if they say back to the basics, then hopefully there's a fine line between bringing the casual players in with cool visual stuff like rage arts and heat engagers and things, but also trying to remain loyal to the Tekken core players. And they've kind of gone away from that and recently in the last couple games with throws being, single button or double buttons rather than the actual button that you're supposed to press for each throw. Backdash, sidestepping. Yeah, I mean that would go along with the strings that shouldn't be tracking 100% and things of that sort. Making juggles extra long for no reason.
We need a camera zoomed in on Prophet's face. He's
And it's
getting
fun for casual players.
PTSD as he's talking.
Yeah, it's fun for casual players to have extra long combos that you're able to do, but they become very easy to do, and for the amount of damage that they cause, basic Tekken things like poking and punishment have gone down dramatically because it's the risk reward there isn't what it should be. So probably like lessening the juggle. I'm not gonna have as much as Prophet. Prophet has a notebook on it, but you know, they've got to find that fine line between the casual gameplay, which looks pretty, and keeping the core mechanics, and try to make it a little bit more difficult to be able to beat better players. And I don't say that with any kind of ego or anything like that. I just mean skill-wise and things of that sort. Shorten up juggle damage, shorten up juggles, make pokes more relevant, make throw breaks harder, make punishment more relevant, things of that sort. So that's what I would, in a nutshell, would do. You know, things like that. He'll have more specific things.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I love that. Very succinct, I'd say.
Time to bring out the Webster dictionary.
I'm here. I'm ready for
The
this.
book.
Remind me of what the topic is, just so I know exactly how to attack this.
Yeah, you got your water if you want to get your gaps in, you know.
All right. So, Prophet, what
I'm
would
gonna
you
take a
like
nap.
to see changed for the better future of Tekken? Bring the mic as closest to you as possible, so that way people can hear you.
Say it with your diaphragm.
Say it with your
So,
chest.
like, to not just copy a lot of the things that he mentioned here, because that's a lot of fundamental things that would happen. The things like the throw break, maybe, you know, it's a little bit easier for the new people. Maybe you keep that, but you change things like the counter hit window back. But the major key thing is bringing back character uniqueness and weakness. That is probably the biggest thing that needs to go back to bring us back to where we need to go. Right. Every option coverage, right, which is just the ability for people to just put out certain buttons and they cover all these different scenarios. Right. In Tekken 8 and the later parts of Tekken 7, we basically got an influx of a lot of option coverage moves for a lot of characters, which then shored up their weaknesses, right? Caused them to play less Tekken, right, but still get a better result, right? And things like that are a huge part as to why we are where we are now with Tekken 8, right? All the new moves covered weaknesses, right? Things like heat burst, you know, to do extra stoppage in your combo and then do more, right? That fixed up combo weaknesses for characters who don't have great carry. Things like multiple strong aerial tailspins. All things like that need to be reverted, limited, moved away from, right? To get us back to where it needs to be, to where you still have the heat, like he said. And mind you, I'm actually a fan of what heat does, right? I'm a fan of it enhancing your character's personality, right? So long as it's balanced, right? Which is very much not so right now, right? And so long as it's earned rather than given the way it is right now, right? So like if you get rid of heat burst, right? You do two things, right? You remove this stupid armor button that everybody has wherever they are. It's just like, oh, I'm getting pressured. Here's this armor button that lets me just get out of things for free, right? And then you shorten combo length because people can't just heat burst to continue their combos, right? And then you make it so that not every round is filled with heat unless the better player actually gets it, right? Obviously, the person, I guess I should say the winning person in that moment, not so much the better player. In the winning person in that moment gets the heat off instead of it being a way to just once again turn the tides when it really isn't earned, right? And so that's something that really needs to change there. And then, like he said, going back to like all of the basic changes, stuff like that. But can I talk a little bit about? Can I talk a little bit?
Yes, go ahead.
About the game.
Yeah,
right?
Speak your truth.
Yeah, speak your truth.
So what it is, I'm not sure if you guys seen. There was an article recently about why fighting games aren't bad games; they're poor products.
Bad products, yeah.
Or
Yes.
bad products, right? That encapsulate everything I've been saying about fighting games, period, for legit the last 9 years. Right?
Can you TLDR it for? I haven't really skimmed it too well.
Okay, so the TLDR for it is that fighting games need to stop making things about ease of entry, right?
Mm-hmm.
People are going to play the games they want to play, no matter how difficult it is, right?
Right. The love of a character or something about it keeps
right?
them within.
So instead, what they need to focus on are the things that literally every other common game have right now, which are things like good single player, right? Good, that's not just, oh, hey, I'm going to do like a Tekken battle type thing.
Right.
I'm not going to just go through and do survival mode, right? Like a single player that teaches the people how to actually play the game in a better way than what Street Fighter 6 did.
For
right?
sure, yeah, compared to the world
So
tour.
things like that, as far as the single player, good net code is like can't be stressed enough.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
mandatory.
the- mandatory
it's
now.
mandatory because if you look at the general, gaming sphere, right? Nobody is sitting here saying, "Man, I have to constantly play this video game on the shittiest connection." Right?
Yeah, I
that,
don't
that
hear that.
only happens in fighting games, and that is a huge problem that needs to be addressed. Right? Like, you have games with great net code, but then they don't have all the other things, right? So that means just they fall back into obscurity along with the rest of things, right? We need the big three to get those things in, right? And then just things like making the microtransactions better, right? Making them like giving the people what they want. If you're going to have it because of the way the world is right now,
Right.
at least do it properly, right? We are going into year 2, or we're past year 2 of Tekken 8, right? They've released about 23 legacy costumes. They have not released any what's it called? I'm sorry. Crap. I was going somewhere. I'll get back to that.
Okay,
They've only
right.
released about 20 of the costume packs.
Still waiting
Right.
for Yoshi Shark, bro.
Yeah, right. Like
Yeah,
Harong
there's-
is missing his like iconic Tekken 3 Dobok, right?
Oh, yeah,
so,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
a lot of characters are missing stuff like that. But it's like if you're going to do the transaction, it's free money. It helps us support the game, which and then turns around and turns into more things. We would gladly do it as Tekken players, right? The
Right.
FGC
But
gets
they're also ass. Like, most of them aren't even that good or interesting. The customization's not good. Like, if you compare customization to Soul Calibur 5,
that is
like,
actually his
if
point
you-
in the article.
yeah, if you just
Yeah.
do things like that, you could still make money with people who want to spend the money to get the extra stuff.
Yeah.
And people will love it, make so many like costumes and so many things, and like talk about it and do that. And like the customization's so ass that I don't even bother like most of the time, and I don't care about buying any of the skins. Like they're not even.
That is
Yeah.
that
They
is
don't interest me.
one of the other big parts of what his article is. So like I said, it comes down to all the good single player, right? That basically everyone knows. Good multiplayer, which it's not ever. Fighting games are generally just not ever. It's always missing something, right?
Yeah.
It's always missing either the net code or the lobby system's not that good. The matchmaking system, it's always missing something, and that needs to be smoothed out. Like these fighting game devs have been making like fighting games, right, for 40 years now on average, right? And they've been making them being able to play online for now 20, right? There has to be improvements there, right? So between
Right.
you have the customization, all that, and then once again the microtransactions, and then just marketing it better, right? Like Tekken 8 prior to it launching had a crap ton of good marketing, right? They sent a lot of content creators packages, right? They had commercials that were on a grander scale than anything. We had celebrities in those commercials.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like we gave Tekken 7 a lot of money.
Yeah, we need to go back to when Snoop Dogg was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we gave Tekken 7 a lot of money, and we've gave Tekken 8 even more, right? We don't have anything to show for it.
Right, yeah, they're not prioritizing the three main things you were saying
Yeah.
that would make a
I think
fighting
there's
game
even
much more
something else
successful.
that I'm missing, right? But I can't like necessarily think of it right now.
Right,
But
right.
overall, improving the product of actually Tekken 8, right? Like why does the friend list for Tekken 8 only have 100 slots? If I
Oh.
ever have to friend anyone, right, on Tekken 8 because they're PS5 and I'm Steam, yeah, I can only friend so many people. I also, if Soldier Luca, which he does often, hosts the lobby, I cannot find the lobby by just going to my friends list and then
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
have
it's
to
really annoying.
have to go to the player search option
and then constantly refresh and hope that he magically appears on the list of games.
Yeah, all
which
of that's really annoying.
sometimes takes minutes just to find your friends, and then you got to go through the part of waiting for the lobby to go through.
I also think there's something they could do when you are in a lobby with friends. Like, when you're in a lobby with a group of people and you're waiting for your turn, you're just sitting there waiting. And I feel like there should be a way where they could, like, show one of the matches that's going on so you could, like, watch it while you're waiting or something until your match is ready.
I
It's like,
agree.
If
just
you're
sitting
there,
there with the
Joining late
names.
is what she's referring to.
Yeah.
Joining
Yeah.
into a lobby. So once you see a match, like once it's already started, if you join into that lobby at that point, you can't see anything. So if they just started their match and you know these matches generally can take 5 minutes, you're just sitting there and you can't do anything.
Yeah, you're just sitting.
Yeah, I definitely have my complaints of that. Or I would even want like a section where you could like go to the lab and practice. I wish
Or
something like that would exist
Yeah.
too. There's a lot of
Which
missing features.
You also can't change your controls once you're in there in the lobby. You have to like leave and come back, because there's been times, but since we have one PS5, that me and Jason will like play with the group or something, and we both play Safina, but we play with like one control change. So like we can't change it. We have to like leave and come back, or one of us just has to deal with our control slightly changed, and it's like annoying.
yeah.
Sorry to do this to Heart Container. That's fake news. If you press pause in the
What?
lobby, you can controller change the
They
settings.
added that.
When did they
like
add it?
season 2.
As far as I was
yo,
aware,
chat.
it was kind of always in the game.
4K on live stream.
like,
GG
You
spam.
can change it in the lobby. Your controller.
Whenever
settings.
They did add it.
and
I don't
I don't know
missed the
when they
update,
added
I
it,
guess.
but you can do it right now.
Well, they did it for a while.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I remember the last part. Communication, right?
Oh,
And
okay.
If you play any other game genre, right? If you play any of the big games, communication is rampant everywhere, right? Fighting game devs are the only ones who do not communicate. And some people will say, oh, well, the fighting game community is mean. You're saying League of Legends players aren't mean, right? You're telling me World of Warcraft players aren't mean, right? Of course they're going to get some insensitive people, right? But they're like that's just life, right? It's your job to deal with these things, filter the feedback, and then communicate your thought processes. What's happening? What are we doing, right? Destiny 2, right, does a weekly blog, right?
Okay.
Every Thursday they have a weekly blog saying, hey, this is what we hear you on. These are things we're working on. These are things that are coming. These are things that will come down the line, right? And even they do that even when there's no news to be had, right? League of Legends, they're always on Reddit, right? They're always on Twitter talking to people, right? And they also put out patch notes. They explain what their patch notes are thinking. Helldivers 2, the reason the game popped off was because of the communication from them, right?
Oh yeah, when the servers were like blowing up in the first like few weeks, we're like, hey, we noticed this. We're getting more servers.
Right? The response time, oh hey, there's this really bad bug, patched within 24 hours, right? Tekken, they're like, we have to wait 3 weeks, right? These things don't. Yeah, right. Unless it's or like, oh hey, this menu thing is wrong on the store, so we gotta fix that, right?
Yeah.
So like that took them all of 24 hours to just like say, oh hey, yeah, we're doing these things, but the important things were not getting talked about. We are now 9 months without any, like 9 months is about right, I want to say, because it was before like Evo, without any real patch and any thoughts on where the patch is going, right?
Yeah, they've
So
been really quiet.
we
They've
have
been
no
really
idea
quiet, yeah.
where season 3 is going, right? We have no. When you say back to basics and then you show buffs
And new moves.
New move.
and new moves, when all we've been saying is we don't need more moves,
Yeah.
It's a little scary.
what are you doing? We
Yeah.
already had season 2. Like,
Yeah.
you already sit there and said 1,500 changes. You said, okay, we didn't know what the 1,500 changes were. And then we did a little preview and we saw King had homing grabs
Bro.
And
that did chip damage.
when you,
You
broke
were,
them.
you were punished for breaking grabs at the beginning of season 2.
Oh, man.
my God,
Good
yeah.
times.
yeah, it was-
Right? Like, any communication, right, would just go a long way
to not only stop problems before they happen, right? But be better for fixing all these problems that we have right now, right? And it's such a simple thing to do, right? Every company is doing it nowadays where it's just like, hey, it doesn't matter when we may get this done. We're still saying we hear you and we're going to get it done eventually. And that appeases so many people so long as you don't put a timeline on it. And even if you put it as a stretched timeline, right?
Right.
People are just so much happier with your game.
Yeah.
Right?
Right, yeah, I agree.
Like fighting games literally just have the least amount of people on all of their games, right? Because these basic things are missing from them, right? And it would just at the very least double, right, what our normal daily average is, right? Just for being functioning video games.
Well said.
Yeah.
I hate you have to follow all that. So.
Prophet gave a wonderful
Yeah,
soliloquy.
you brought up a lot of beautiful points that we
Made 'em laugh.
brought up.
Yeah.
That's the condensed version, you know.
Right,
we
right.
we have places to go for.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
He doesn't
Yeah.
have the notebook on him.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
Like I have an overall positive outlook on the game, probably compared to most people. I do enjoy the heat
'Cause you
system
play
as it
Reyna.
works. He says because Reyna is not like a
plays Reyna.
top 5 broken character like Anna or something or Brian, but regardless,
Or
though.
Claudio.
Or Claudio, or Claude, right?
I'm laughing because it's hilarious.
But the thing with big changes regarding like heat, like if it needs to be earned, the way characters access heat outside of heat bursts is kind of different. So like, you know, I'm a Reyna specialist. I play Reyna. She has a lot of hit confirms into heat that she can do. She has a 12 frame long range mid that can heat confirm into a heat, like into a heat engager, right? So she can access heat very easily, but other characters can't. They don't have that as much. So I kind of like that heat burst being an option is nice, right? So messing with that, I think is kind of tough.
That's the part of the weaknesses things that characters have. that's
Right.
exactly the point. If it's harder for them to like Harong,
Yeah.
Harong only gets it as a negative 13 punish, or if someone is like eating like a 20 frame like mid, right? Mm-hmm. So like, and he gets it for his while standing punish, right? Which remove natural hit moves into heat engage. That's my biggest thing. I'm sorry for 442. That having characters who is just like, dang, it's really hard for me to get into heat, but then they have an explosive heat mode is part
Right.
of that thing that is like, hey, that's how you work around the weakness of it,
Right.
but then it makes it so they're better when they do
Right.
get that heat.
I think it's a delicate balancing act. Like not only the accessibility per character to get into heat, but whatever heat moves is given to said character can kind of skew it, right? Again, with the Reyna example, everyone complains about flashbang down to 1/2, the season 2 move there that she got in heat, and she has these really spammable kind of like why not moves that she can do in heat. Big long range mid with a safe follow that she can just do 50 damage natural hit if it connects. It's like, yeah, why not do it? But it's like picking between that, balancing that is tough, and I hope they are really looking out on how to adjust that as far as heat balance is concerned. But then other balancing things I would like, again, like a lot of characters have some really unfair situations that are really skewed in their favor, regardless of if you guess accurately on like between a low and mid, oh, but the mid is plus and now they can go again kind
Like
of situation.
Claudio.
Right. Like when you compare moves of characters, it's really funny. I'm Reyna. She knows the one I know the most. She has back to safe homing mid. Everyone says that's a good move. It's +3 on hit, -9 on block, but it's a safe homing mid. That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Anna has a plus on block homing mid that goes in the guaranteed heat engage follow up. That's the same frame startup. Like, you know, like that seems kind of skewed, you know, on top of all her
coverage.
other stuff, right? So, like, comparing is really funny. Like, Reyna's side set 4 compared to Claudio's side set 4. Since we're talking about Claudio a lot for some particular reason.
I've had this same argument with a couple of people.
For some particular.
Right.
Sure.
But,
I'm like,
so.
if he could get +7, if I remember correctly, sidestep 4, and it forces crouch,
+6
Plus
force
6.
crouch.
+6 force crouch.
And if you dare stand, he while running 2s and he's +6 again.
And I sit here and I'm like, it'd be really nice if Reyna would just keep them standing and it's +4 so I could at least do a down forward 1 check. That'd be really nice, right?
Yeah, little stuff
little
like that.
things
you
like
know.
that. I'm a little
But
picky.
that's I think balance is a delicate
Weaknesses?
act that they need to do.
Fair point. Fair point.
I think in particular, like the end of season 1 showed a lot of good signs. That one defensive patch we had, 1.5, I think, where you started being able to step and parry heat bursts, for example. I think those were good changes. They did nerf heat bursts at some point in season 2, but it wasn't like universal of everyone. Like you can step a lot more of them now. But Brian can still clip you for some reason. Ragnarok can still clip you for some reason. And
Claudio can still.
Claudio can still, like a lot of these, like they just can. Like you have the successful read, the realignment, like Real Law mentioned. I lost to Rasmus at a local recently. Like he was playing Jin, and I stepped. I forget which move, but I successfully walked the first part, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just keep walking. He's gonna just whiff next to me. I got clipped anyway and died. And I'm like, that was final round game 2. That would have been my beginning of my comeback, but. Just realignment again. I was like, all right. Oh, yeah, he did Jin 1+2. That's what it was. Because he was planning to heat dash. I stepped the first half or walked the first half, and then the second half clipped me, and then he was going to heat dash if it blocked anyway.
Oh, God.
So, right. But outside of balance, because we all know the game needs some toning down on a lot of things. The lobby system, Prophet mentioned, we have crossplay, but you can't just easily join off of a crossplay. If you're console to console, you can just go on your console friends list and join it immediately. Same thing with Steam to Steam. You can do that easily. Should be able to do that from the friends list. I think we should steal from other fighting games, like have a one room in the lobby be online training mode. They added online training mode to the fight lounge. They can add it to the lobbies. That would be nice. That way people can just grind off to the side while you're still in lobby with your friends, right? One thing I want from Guilty Gear that they have, but I haven't seen any fighting game do it, is a restart setting in training mode that emulates round start. Not something that's not in the game. Like Tekken players, when we lab stuff, it's generally like jab into the move to see it, right? But in round start, there's a particular spacing. Like we all got counter hit by Kazuya down forward 2 round start. Let's see maybe what can we do about that, right? And actually emulate it in training mode perfectly. That would be nice to do, but you can't really do that. So like sealing stuff like that would be nice. But that's the main thing. Again, cosmetics, like Prophet said. We need more of the legacy outfits for the Tekken 8 newcomers. I'm a Reina player. You're an Azucena player. Those concept arts are pretty nice for them. It would be kind of cool to see them. I was vouching for Reina to get some Heihachi outfits before Heihachi was revealed. But Heihachi's obviously going to get his outfits. So instead, she can get the concept arts. That'd be kind of cool.
Yep.
We need the freedom to go.
And then just more single player game modes, like Prophet mentioned again, just like stuff to engage with the game that isn't necessarily just head-to-head competitive online ranked or player match. Just something outside of that. Because again, a lot of us casuals got into these games because like the character was cool and there was stuff to do that was outside of just like playing with your little brother or big brother. Right? I loved in Soul Calibur 3 Chronicles of the Sword. I love that mode. You made your own character, and I would literally, like, I had my friend group, we would pass the controller around to your character when they got their turn to fight in the map. It's like, all right, you get to play, and we're like rooting for each other and all this stuff. Like just different modes that you can do. But I think would also help and improve the game as well. And again, we can't stop talking. The communication, just tell us something. I know in Tekken 7, they didn't tell you why the patch notes they were doing what they were doing. They just showed it off. They started doing that now with the patch notes, but we don't know when the patches are dropping really. And then also they have patch notes like, we noticed this character had a bad win rate, so we nerfed him with this move. Shout out Harong. Or it's like, we wanted this to be a less reactable mix-up, so we sped up these lows, like the low shoulder from Fang and the one stance move from Jin's low, right? Like those are some questionable reasoning, but at least they said it. But I just think they need to kind of refine that bit. But I think a lot of that would make the game better. And again, the realignment, all this other little things like that, those are the things I think would make the game better.
I want to be able to send hate messages from Steam to PlayStation. I don't understand.
Yes, please.
That's
I feel like that should be.
I don't
that should be a thing.
understand why I can't send a hate message to a PlayStation player when they make me mad.
One thing to add to that, another thing the article did talk about was social spaces, right? Like actually like fluid social spaces, right? So we have the Tekken Lounge, right? But we're not forced to go in there, right? But if anyone has played Dragon Ball FighterZ here, you are forced to do that.
Yeah, right in there. You go in there first.
And then you walk around and you see a bunch of people in there, and it's organic, right? You're sitting there just like, hey, bro, this dude is also a Goku avatar. I will talk to him because he is a Goku avatar. Something, right? Oh, hey, I recognize this person's name, right? Because he's got a nice name. Maybe he watches an anime or a movie or something like that, right? Something to give more people to talk to, right? You play any MMO, there's always a social space for people to be in, and a lot of like organic connection happens there. That does not happen if we are just constantly stuck away between menus.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? And so if you make it so it's a organic social space, the moment you are in the game opens up.
I agree.
That's real.
Amanda.
What exactly is the question?
All right, the question is, what would you like to see change for the better future of Tekken?
Katarina.
Bring it.
And it'll be
is a good one.
It'll be the better future for me. That's the answer. That's it.
Okay, that's it. All right.
No, I'm kidding. I have a real answer. I'm just
Okay,
messing
okay.
around.
That's a real answer, though.
That is a real answer for me, though. Please.
Never.
I can't ask Harada anymore, but
And Murray,
Namco.
Nakatsu.
Somebody, please. I'm praying every day. No, for me, I would say, like, I came from not, like, really understanding as much in fighting games and being more of a casual player, so I understand, like, they're trying to change things to get casual players and everything like that, right? And I agree with all the things that they've said so far, and customization and all of that could be fixed and everything too. But coming from 7, where I trained really hard and like started picking up the game and like really caring and like kind of understanding, it took me a long time to go from being an explosive, like direct, like constant, like masher kind of player, which is how a casual player kind of starts, to learn to be like patient and more defensive and to like get like that. And I feel like it took a bunch of work to be able to not press as much and be patient and like start reading people, and like you got to go back and forth so much more in 7. Like you really got to play with the time and go back and forth. It felt like you were taking turns and you got to like kind of figure people out and put your guesses in and actually have answers. And in 8, I just don't feel any of that. I feel like it all got thrown out the window. I feel like any of the training I tried doing and trying to be defensive and being that way is just not working for me anymore. Like I need to be an explosive player and I'm trying to be more explosive, but then it just forces people to do that. Like before you had an option to be explosive and then try to like block more and like recognize the other person's patterns and stuff. Now it's just you fight someone explosive, and unless you're really, really good at like being able to block all their shit and like know what they're doing, you're just gonna get wrecked. And it's kind of ridiculous. It kind of took away the pride that I had and how much work I did and understood in the game and all the training, because now it just doesn't matter. I'll fight someone like a Brian and they have like insane damage because I'll mess up like one move. Like it happened with me fighting Stogie the other day. I whiffed like one parry, but I was winning the entire time. I had the advantage the entire time. I whiffed one move and he managed to get me all the way against the wall and take away just about all of my health, and I was basically dead. And I'm like, what the fuck? You make one small mistake and you don't get to do anything. And it's not really fair because like, yeah, if you make mistakes, you're going to get punished and everything. But before you got a chance to like make 3 mistakes, maybe 4, like you had some chances to make mistakes and go back and forth. Now, depending on who you're fighting against, you really don't. And I'll play a character like Safina, who I made now, who I feel like she's a pokey character and she's like much weaker in damage. So even if I'm doing a good job, even if I am managing to block everybody's stuff and just poke them out and do all of this, like she's doing such little damage compared to someone who will just get one like 80 damage combo and just like wreck my entire health. And I feel like I have to put in so much more work compared.
This is a character with a 60 damage uncounter-hittable parry, by the way. You know, so I don't know so much about that.
Listen.
Unless you block the parry or unless you wait it out, you are eating 60 damage for that, and that is a point, right?
But compared to all these other players that are doing like 80, 90 damage, like 60s.
They're
like,
not doing 80, 90 outside of
strong.
Asuka or June on a reversal, though.
right? Unless it's like a specific like, oh hey, I did your back was to the wall and I happened to wall splash you from it. Like Reyna's getting a heat engager, right? Or an electric depending upon what they parried, right? Like Clive's getting a generic thing. A generic thing that like knocks down.
And
you're
gives a
getting,
meter, yeah.
Yeah, and you're getting a whole 60 damage, right? Free guaranteed God Hand. And then you have the running Oki that people have to deal with here. All right. Now, I'm not saying that Zafina isn't a weaker character in the roster, right? But it's just like when you sit there and you look at the things of like, hey, is she really doing that much lower damage? Well, it's just like, well, here's this move that guarantees a God Hand move that is now
Like maybe the damage is spread out a little bit differently.
Yeah, right. It's more so you're doing the damage in other God Hand like heat install ways than you are in your combos, and like I said, weaknesses, right? And that's just the way it is. Now, as far as like the Tekken 7 not two tapping has always been a Tekken thing. Unfortunately, right?
Big damage game.
A lot of us like to cope, right? Especially when we talk about our the older games of like, oh, it didn't used to be like this. The option coverage was less, so it felt like it didn't happen as often, or it felt like you weren't forced into guessing on it so much, right? But Tekken was always, hey, you got launched, you're eating 80% of your HP. That's always been a thing. I used to sit there and think, oh, hey, maybe it just didn't happen to be this way. It's always been.
Interesting.
He can probably back that up.
I kind of want to piggyback on Heart Container about some differences between 7 and 8. One thing that I really enjoyed when I was learning 7, and this is probably also helped with my Smash background, is that like it always felt like no matter how unfair a situation felt, that there was multiple ways around it, even if it might have felt oppressive. And it came down to your knowledge, and then like, maybe you had to wait it out. Maybe there was a parry you could have maybe sidestep into a duck, or et cetera, et cetera. There's always seemed to be an option there. And in 7, that's something I really enjoyed about learning and picking up Tekken. It always sounded like there was something you could do no matter what. It's the difference though with 8, with the focus on aggression, is like the way they implemented that aggression seems like, yeah, you might have guessed the mid right, and that mid covered a lot, but is there plus, and you're gonna have to go guess again. And that makes it feel like it's so hard to like defend against it, and I feel like that's where you're kind of coming from. That's like that core difference there. And yeah, that seems to be like the big thing there.
It just
force 50-50s and with
option coverage.
Stance
Again,
makes
option
save.
coverage.
Option coverage literally just carries every single option coverage kind of just covers over every single thing of like what they're complaining about, because of like the things where it's just like, oh hey, before I didn't have to be a precise sidestep right duck into getting away with a thing. Right? I didn't have to time my duck as properly to interrupt this string that now has a fast follow-up high, that if you don't duck it and do your punish in time, you're getting cooked. All the speed up and the option coverage, of all the things in this game, like recovery is a big thing that like kind of gets like a lot of characters got their recoveries buffed. So where it's like, oh hey, I whiffed this move, right? But now you don't get as long to launch it. These things help add into his point.
Yeah.
Right,
talking about
Fuck.
things like that. Like before, like Lars, for example, and people like Ultima in 7, I felt like I was able to match him much better, and I know that you could just sidestep a lot of Lars's moves back then, and you had like answers. And now it's like, no, you have to sidestep this specific way in this specific like thing. And when you compare that to all the characters and how all of them have different moves and different things, you have to learn everybody and learn that this person you need to move this way, but then this person you need to move the other way, and then this person you need to be able to do this.
And they go into steps
Well,
and
that's
establish it,
Tekken.
but that's just Tekken.
That's just Tekken, though.
Yeah.
That part is the hard part of Tekken, and that's what we want to keep, right?
But I feel like they've made it harder.
We want to limit their options that make it so that these weaknesses that they used to have are covered, right? The learning, hey, this is how you sidestep this person. Hey, they're doing this string. This is how you have to sidestep or interrupt in between it. Those are all Tekken things. Those are all great. We want that, right? We want you to know that, hey, if, you know, Reina is doing forward forward 2 on block, you can sidestep a certain type of way to get rid of the rest of the moves, and then maybe you have to do a sidestep duck for the other things. That's all things we need to keep. We just need to teach people how to do it.
Yeah, but I will say it's so satisfying when you learn about this one high that was like mid high that was cooking you, and then one time in bracket or one time in rank you actually duck it, actually launch it. That feeling is like ecstasy. I think that's like the best part in Tekken that gets people really going. Like the last time I fought Pico, local Shaheen, Fakum Ram player that we have in the scene, right? We all drove up to Juicy, a lot of us, and I fought Pico. There's this one string, they call it the Arabian Junkyard or whatever. I was like, if he does this string, I'm going to low parry it. I know I have to low parry it. I've never done it in bracket. I've never done it in bracket, but I know that this is what I have to do. I used to always get swing into it and get counter hit launched early TA, but I'm like, I'm going to low parry it. And I was so I'm like, the second I see I'm low parrying it. And I did, and I ended up winning that set, right?
Beautiful.
That's super satisfying, and that's something that still exists in the game, but it's like it's so tough because again the option coverage is so high for a lot of characters.
That's another specific thing. I would say there's so many moves that like, oh, it looks like a low but it's a mid, or it's a mid and then it turns out it's a low, or whatever the case. And I feel like it was easier to kind of recognize that kind of thing before. So right now it just feels like you're not able to get that chance. Like if you have the time to react and you can see that like, oh, a low is coming and you're ready for it and you want to block, and you finally like actually thought about it and had a second to do it, you want to be able to get rewarded for it, and then you don't because it turns out it's a fucking mid or something. And they have too many specific like mix-ups like that with all of the characters where it just looks like that and you're not really getting rewarded for it. So now you are just straight up constantly guessing, even if you have the reaction time to be like, oh, it's a low, and then it's not. And I feel like they make that really confusing, at least for me.
I will say, I think that goes to profit point. Like, that's just kind of like Tekken. There's every character has 100+ moves. You're gonna get hit with something you don't know. And I will say, I think generally Tekken does a good job of like highs look like highs, lows look like lows. Generally,
there's a lot of exceptions.
There
for sure.
is some that will catch you, and I will never forgive them. In Tekken 7, Lars used to have, I think it was DF2-1 or something. It was like an elbow into like a high, and then when I finally learned to duck that high, they changed it to a mid-mid. The animation was exactly the same. I'll never forgive him for that. But
I feel like you guys can attest to that. The memory.
Yeah. But I think, like I said, generally I think Tekken does do a good job of showing what the move is, or like properties making a lot of sense. The Tekken 8 thing I won't forgive him is Reina's standing status on stuff where she's clearly on the ground. Regardless.
I think they could be better with it.
They could be better.
Yeah.
FeeDX actually made a video about this because there were things like Bob had like a jump into a mix between a mid and a high, and visually you could not tell the difference, right, between what the mid. It was like I forget what is Bob's like belly bump into the jump move. Yeah, up forward bump was 2 into a, I think it was like 3 or 4, just whatever, and it was very, very hard for you to recognize which was the mid, right, which I believe was punishable, and which was the high, right, and so like things like that do need better visual clarities, especially for the newer people who we're trying to get into. So there is some where it's just like, hey, you know, but then there's like Ling down forward 1 where she's literally hitting your shin and it's a mid, right?
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, and high crushes, yes. So yeah, no, there could be improvements with visual clarity, but as far as to what Lugo was saying is like learning the differences between those moves that may look similar, that are obviously it's more so the ones that are obviously different that are actually a high, and you should know it. Common down forward 1-2s, right? Stuff like that, down forward 1-1s, things like that they may look still a little lower. I guess Paul's would be probably like the best one to look at, because when you look at it, it doesn't look like a high when you do the down forward 1-1. So that would be like one of the more key ones that needs more visual clarity. But overall, you still have to learn the tech.
Right.
But yeah, I think they could be better with some of that. As a newer player and trying to get newer competitor players, like I get them trying to be like aggressive and everything, and like you were saying, I think they can just do that by making it visually appealing and having these cool characters and all this stuff. There's so many like new people that just get rewarded for like just straight mashing and just being really aggressive, and then anybody else who's like trying to like play it safe, trying to be defensive, trying to like use their moves, they just don't get a chance to play as much. So it kind of just feels like you don't get a chance to play unless you're like on their fucking ass constantly.
It's like tough because the game puts you in those situations, but like you have to retaliate. Almost that's what it feels like. You have to power crush. You have to make a play of some kind,
You
or
have
you're
to
getting
cancel it
chipped
out,
out. You're
like,
gonna get mixed up.
somehow.
You will get
Yeah.
opened up if you just sit there and block forever. And that's kind of what the game kind of does. But I will say, when you do successfully make the read on what they're doing, you do get rewarded highly. And I think I said this early on in T8 on commentary, was that like I felt like the reward for defense is now you get to start your aggression, your offense, and that's so much more rewarding in the game. So if you successfully defend just that one moment, BB used to say like you only need one. Like that could change the tides immediately, especially with the chip damage that's in the game, the gray health in the game, recovery in the game.
But the thing is like it just leads to a looping problem of you were now the oppressed and now you are the oppressor, right?
Right,
So now they're
everybody's-
sitting there like, hey,
There isn't as much back to forth. It's kind of just
It's
like
tough.
I'm gonna be on your ass. I'm gonna destroy you, and then if you get a chance to stop, then you're just destroying me, and like that's it.
Real Law said
There
it
isn't as
earlier.
much like
Make
back
the
and
focus
forth.
on poking.
Right. There's a more of a dance.
I would
I
like
would say.
more of a dance and more like poking in between, so like you both get to play a little more, because sometimes you're just stuck in so much shit, and I'm just sitting there, just waiting.
Like Claudio's.
And there's so many reactions of all of us like on camera, just sitting, like waiting.
Yeah.
You don't get to do anything for a while, so things like that. Also, a specific take that I have that no one's gonna agree with me with.
I'm here
is,
for it.
I kind of miss the chance of being able to counterpick and having an infinite stage.
Oh, stage?
Oh yeah, Infinite Azure and
Listen,
Seven.
Zafina
if you want to, if you want to use every part of the game, make maps have a good reason, right? Being able to counterpick someone and have an infinite stage that helps with your character more, or having a wall because you have better wall combos and stuff. I feel like that was kind of good, you know. Being able to
Oh,
counterpick it.
hold on. Law's getting in. He's never pulled the mic like this. I need to hear what he has to say.
There was, and I'm going to date everyone here. There used to be a rule that, let's say you guys rock, paper, scissors for sides now, and then you stay on those sides the whole match. It used to be loser picks side. So it wasn't so that, and now it's easier to change sides. We used to have to fucking walk around to the other, like we'd have to switch sides in the arcade cabinet, whatever, and even like do it that way. But if you're rematching anyway, you should be able to have to switch sides after each loss. Loser gets to pick stage or able to switch sides. That was always the rule. And somewhere, I don't remember when, it stopped being that way. And like I'd like that. I don't remember when. Like they just stopped doing it, and I was like, why? Because like if we're gonna emphasize like one player having a weakness on a second player side, it shouldn't just be stay on that side and eat it for the whole time.
Yeah.
Like I like first player side, but I've gotten so good at second player side because I refuse to play rock paper scissors. I'm not doing that shit. Like I'll just you want that side, have that side. I refuse to do this dance. Like. But if it's something that we're going to want to change, like loser pick sides or stage should be a thing again. Like that just doesn't, unless it's a blow up stage where you just.
I would like to add, if you want
be cool.
the stage picking, I think, again, we should steal from other fighting games, other fighting game communities. So I come from Project M, and they built in the stage select, like both players get the control, right, at the same time. So how they do it in Project M is that they have a button where you exit out a stage. There's stage banning. So in Project M, you would ban 2 stages, and then the person can counterpick. Because, like Prophet was bringing up, we have king players. You do not want to fight a king on a floor break stage if you can help it, for example, right? Or Safina on an infinite, right? So if there was an in-game way for stage bans, I think stage picking could be a thing, because just like Smash, 3D fighting games, like the stage matters a lot. And it being random, like, it sucks when it's like you're down a game and you have to random select and you get the floor break stage against King. Like there's just you're at the whims of Harada's finger at that point. Like it is what it is.
But I do miss stage counter picking because of things like that.
Again,
because
we're about to get
walls, because of the
Kunimitsu
floor
2,
breaks.
right? So you're just
Infinite with that's great.
No.
And then the follow up, if we are gonna, again, if we should steal from the good stuff of other communities, another thing that Smash does is called like Dave's stupid rule. So the thing is, on like a longer set, if you won on, let's say, Arena Underground, you can't counterpick back to Arena Underground. So that's technically like part of your band. Like you have the two bands, and also they cannot go back to that same stage they won again. So that's like something, again, we could implement it. It is possible. It's definitely doable. They have the development power. They can do it.
Yeah.
But it's something that I don't know if that's in their purview to do, or they just like it being random, whatever, so that there's a more wider variety of stage selects. Because there is some stages that are just kind of skins of each other. Arena and Jumanji Temple, for example. They're essentially the same stage.
Shit, basically.
So that, again, we should take from other communities the good stuff they have.
Also, with those stages, I felt like in 7 and everything, it was kind of obvious when you were like getting to a wall. Some of these stages, like until you're used to it, at least, there's invisible walls. So like you don't really know exactly when you're at the wall until you're like used to the spacing of the map. So if you're not used to it,
final round on Clive stage, the bottom.
It's kind of hard to tell when the fuck
Subconscious.
you are gonna get towards the wall.
I just thought about the fact that even if we ban Descent into Subconscious, the Pac-Man stage is now there. So no matter what, we're having to take the worst L on any of it.
Again, and at least you would have to find a way to balance it if they were to do it. Again, in Smash, they have the starters and the counter picks, and then in Project M specifically, they got 2 bands. So, and then they have like the really small stages and the really big stages. You never take Bowser, Ganondorf to the really small stages because they'll just kill you at like 30%, right? But yeah, you're right with the stage. But I do think with the walls, I wish they were a little more clear on the ones that are invisible. But I think part of this, like this is one of my favorite things, the skill expression in Tekken is like you comboing and optimizing for the wall. I give praise to our local player, Koi Dragonov main, that he always optimizes for that big tornado Dragonov has at the wall. And he's really good at flexing that combo structure that Dragonov has to fit that. And you could tell the players that are really intimately familiar with their character, that character specialty that they have, if they're able to do stuff like that. And I think it's really cool. So that's kind of,
I mean, I think people optimizing to the wall, like, it is a really good thing. And I managed to do that, like, at the last tournament yesterday, where I played it really well to get it to the wall. But you can still optimize your combo and make it to the wall and see where the wall is. But the last thing I will say to improve Tekken is just more people actually coming through and coming to locals and actually, like, getting into the scene. In general, because we all like learn and talk with each other and share our opinions and like get deeper into it, and the more people show up, the more characters we get to lab against, the more we get to fight, the more we build as a community. So I would just love to see, you know, more people just trying it out and trying the competitive scene. You know, they get scared, they're like, oh, I'm not good, I'm not that great, I'm gonna get wrecked or whatever. But it's not really about that. Like for most people, we're not coming in being like, I'm gonna win first place and everything. It's kind of just more for the experience and your own level of like how far you want to go. I was gonna say it's more for how far your level and you want to go, right? I'm consistently mid. I'm consistently like 8th or 9th throughout all the tournaments, which is like dead in the middle. And for me, I just want to get a little bit past that if I could, but like that's my goal most of the time. And I enjoy like learning and improving and like talking with everybody every time. And I feel like other people should try it because the community and everything is really great, and getting into it's really great and it's really fun. So you don't necessarily have to go with the mind state that you want to win. And if you do want to win, you'll get a chance to keep playing in these tournaments, learn from these people, and they're all super willing to give advice. And we have our chat for the Florida Tekken Discord where everybody's talking and everybody's learning with each other. So you have that opportunity to learn from these people and try to get up there. So I would love to see more people giving it like a chance as well in general.
I think naturally, if Season 3's patch is good and the game gets a really good word of mouth from said patch being good, I think naturally the locals will flourish more naturally. Generally, you know, if the game's good and there's like a good decent scene around, it will naturally grow if there's good word. Yeah, it is a big if. I think I think the season 3 patch is a very important patch because people were saying like season 2 patch for Tekken 8 was like maybe the worst patch in fighting game history. People are saying stuff like that, right?
Yeah, I've heard that.
So this is kind of like a really big patch. I think the characters all being announced. Like I know Poyo in particular was really excited for Roger Jr. to come back, the kangaroo, and I'm sure like that will bring casuals in, you know.
think it'll be fun.
But and then if not only Roger's coming back, but also the scene in general is happy with the patch and there's positive outlook on the patch, that'll naturally bring that random casual that wants to play the funny kangaroo guy. He might come out to an event. Yeah, he go 0-2, but he's gonna have a fun time doing his silly kangaroo moves, which as a Tekken 7 kid that mostly played Tekken 7, didn't really play the other ones, I don't know how to deal with that guy. So I'm going to have a great time fighting Roger Jr. when he comes out.
You and
not
me
knowing
both.
anything that guy does. at
Also
all.
improve Tekken. Give us the Waffle House stage, please. We've been begging.
We definitely need that Waffle House.
All right, Butters, your go.
What was the question one more time?
This has been the biggest topic.
I love this.
The biggest.
What would you
topic.
like to see change for the better future of Tekken?
I think a lot of points were said clearly, and I kind of want to bounce off of them, but just put my little small moment of perspective on it. I think the character weaknesses and strengths of characters, I noticed they're inconsistent of the like if they wanted to nerf a character, they'll nerf it with the mind of I'm going to make this character weak in this way because it was a point that was brought up, but then they'll make another character just be better than that character and keep that same issue. And I think an example I want to bring up was Jin's down 2, right? He would have like this down 2 move where he would high crush, and when you get a counter hit, he gets like a full tornado. And I would see other characters, I would probably bring up Armor King as a good example, where he would have that kind of property of being able to high crush a move, but he'll get a tornado on counter hit, and it's tracking, and it's a tracking low. And I would see that, and I would have this concern of they'll focus on the minute issue of, oh, this is the biggest complaint I'm hearing. Kind of like how you see a lot of Twitter have their issues of, there's this issue of this one character, but we're not looking at the big picture of it all, which is they want this consistently for all characters. So I definitely wanted that consistency to exist of whether they want it for one character or for the whole cast. That's like the one thing I wanted to bring up. I really like the improvements of like visual indicators. I know previous Tekkens, they don't really promote that, but it makes learning a lot easier with that, and I kind of like that, so I want them to make learning a little easier. I'm glad they keep frame data, and those are like the two big things I'd say. Everybody else kind of hashed the points really, really well that I had the same concerns too. So that was just like my 2 cents on those things.
Really quick, Butters, you kind of reminded me when we were talking about the Jin down 2 thing. One interesting balancing thing that they've done a couple of times throughout specifically season 1 was that there'll be like a bug or a weird issue with a specific character, but then they like nerf the system instead of the character. And it's very strange. So there was like a big example with Devil Jin that he would get like a low wall slump into the Heaven's Gate Ender, and it did like some crazy stupid damage, reset, whatever.
Right.
But instead of nerfing Devil Jin, they just hit it across the board with everybody. It's like they brought a humongous mallet to like hit just a small nail. So I hope that like, because everyone was talking about that, I'm like, I hope they minute fix stuff more like individualized on a character to character basis, because slamming it like that was very weird, and it removed some interactions like Kazuya, because Kazuya has the same move, but now it's like not nearly as worth for him to do it, even though it's like a high execution thing that was kind of cool that he could do. Just because the Devil Jin had a bug, now Kazuya doesn't get it. And like Fang had a different thing, like a double, like a low splat into wall break thing, and now if you hit the floor in a certain way, you can't like breakable walls anymore because of Fang specifically.
Yeah.
And it's weird that they do that. So I hope instead of everyone just getting this blanket kind of thing, that they pinpoint the specific target issues instead.
Yeah, more purposeful in their design.
Yeah, more deliberate, like they said in the trailer.
Yeah.
Bring back key charges.
Key charge. Yo, yeah.
Like what we lost that because of Harong and his heat, right? Where people were eating a fake setup, so they just nerfed key charge for everybody
Oh my
instead of
God.
just fixing Harong's heat issue, right? Which no good Harong player wants heat flappies, by the way, right? That needs to be gone in this patch. It's not going to happen, but it needs to be, right? Or at least it needs to be removed from certain moves, right? I don't know. But yeah, system nerfs for the sake of one person is not a good balance, right? I will counter what you were saying though, as far as like the king forward neutral 2. It's not supposed to be as strong as it is, right? It is supposed to be more punishable as a move, but the point is that Jin's not supposed to have those lows because he's already kind of like the Swiss Army knife,
Right.
where he's not supposed to have this power low that does everything for him, right? Because he's supposed to be having like the risky low and the hell sweep, the mid low and the down back 4, and then the timing low of the down 4. Right, that's it. Right,
Right.
You know, he's not really supposed to have these lows that give him a lot of mileage, other than the hell sweep, because that's his weakness in that sense. Right.
Right.
Because he's got a counter hit on, or he had counter hits on every 4 button right before, or like a lot of his mids are really dangerous. You know, for some people, Demon Paw, forward 4 counter hit launch, stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
he has
it's
a
like-
lot of things in general
It's
too.
more
yeah.
so that they don't keep the nerfs consistent among the weaknesses of the characters that they're supposed to have, right? So
Okay,
like
yeah.
King isn't supposed to have his forward neutral 2 be this strong, right? Just regular King, right? His used to be -14 in Tekken 7, right? But it's not supposed to be this like big 50 damage low that is super fast for them to do, that they sped up for whatever reason, and is also, also has decent tracking. It's okay to step if you're good on the timing, but then here it is like, okay, here's this 50 damage situation that is low risk. King's not supposed to do that with that low. The thing it was previously that all King players complained about is he has no lows.
Right.
So having the low itself being there is not a problem. It's just how you balance it among everybody else.
With everybody else,
as
yeah.
long as it makes sense within their line of weaknesses.
I appreciate you bringing up that point. I didn't consider that. Yeah.
Waluigi.
Man, you guys like knocked all the nails in the coffin that I was partially thinking about. Especially
nail on there.
No, hit it with a mallet.
in-game chat.
That's what the devs been doing.
I just wonder how funny it would be just to add in-game chat.
Oh my
Voice
god,
chat?
yeah.
Yep.
In-game voice chat, dude. I would be saying
I've been
some
wondering
highness
this. I've been wondering this for years. Why they have not produced it besides Mortal Kombat.
I agree.
But I realized it'd be way too toxic.
Because it's toxic.
We've all had the moment playing ranked. They had the little streaming tag. You know, you hit them with some diabolical
you're just
nonsense, and
watching
you
it.
go back in the VOD. You're like, I know I got that guy pissed. I need to see what he said. I don't know if voice chat's a good idea.
Oh, I think it'd be great.
Be
They
hilarious.
did it, and the clip days for that were amazing. We could get some Tekken content.
Yeah, I think that's the only
Dude,
good thing
again,
about it.
taking from Mortal Kombat, they should do like a quitality, like something like that when someone DCs or like plugs
do,
or
knock
something.
themselves out?
Like yeah, something, because it was cool. It's always funny in MK where the quitality happened. You're like, oh, I got that guy rage quit, and then they just snap their own neck, right? Like instead, in here in Tekken, it's just the game freezes for a sec. It says connection disconnected, and you're just like, all right.
You just
All
hear
right.
once your god just saying kill yourself.
Blocking out the screen so you can't see his gameplay. I know.
But yeah, definitely communication improvement for all the players in general besides the casuals. Even on Twitter, like even an Instagram story, something. What's your take, Silver?
I got none, but like what Waluigi said, like in-game chat or proximity chat just for the main lobby, that'd be hype. That's just
Okay,
me.
yeah, that's
Proximity chat for the lounge would be nice, yes.
Oh,
Oh, that would be really cool.
I think that'd be
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
All right, last topic, and we are slowly running out of time. And last topic: how much does Tekken mean to you?
Ooh,
I want to hear this from you.
me too.
This is years.
All right.
Years of history.
I've
Traffic
been
and turmoil.
Tekken. I've been blessed because I've had 3 phases of Tekken for myself. I was from 2004 to 2012. I was a player, pretty good player. Transitioned into a commentator and got to do a lot of like final rounds, ECTs, Red Bulls, fall classics, everything that was on the East Coast, Big E tournaments, everything that was on the East Coast and to the South, I got to do until about 2019, until right before I got down here to South Florida. So those are 2 phases that I'm amazingly proud of, that I got to get paid to do both of those things, really. And then I'm kind of in my Brendan Fraser comeback.
The king
a lot of nice things have been said to me over the last probably month now. With the
That Unk flow state was coming back.
yeah, it feels kind of good to kind of get the flowers that I thought I should have gotten, but was missing for a while. So now to be kind of appreciated for what the past I did was besides a couple of moments. Feels good. Like I said, it's very recently I've started playing a lot more and kind of began to fall back in love with playing again. And after being away for about a few years and coming back and playing like at locals because I enjoy the scene and like drinking beer at the bar that we play at. And besides that, Tekken. Every friend I have now was a Tekken player. Everybody I know is from the FGC. From the old Chinatown Fair, or from Justin and Yipes and Sanford and to GM, Fab, Tekken, like that whole Chinatown experience. When I think about it, how many people envy the fact that I was able to go to one of the most famous arcades in America and play against fighting game legends, basically people that now you hear and who doesn't know Yipes, who doesn't know Justin Wong, who doesn't know Sanford Kelly, these are people I traveled with. These are, I've been exceptionally blessed to be a part of this, and you never know the good times until it's gone. So enjoy it as it's happening. So that's all I got to say about that.
Beautifully said.
I rehearsed that 3 times.
That's some real
in the
love.
shower.
Free me from my torment.
This is the opposite end of the scale.
Yeah, what does Tekken mean to me? Constant pain and suffering.
literally. Tekken on the positive sides, right? We'll talk about the positive sides first because that's what you're supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
The community, right? The people I've met, right? The moments I've shared with them in and out of Tekken are what that means to me. Like legit, if it was not for that, I would have been out of here so quick, right? If it wasn't for the fact that I had people willing to teach me, people willing to bring me along, people willing to coach me, help get better, and then also be fun, going over people's houses, playing games, drinking at the same time, coquito and all that at Paco's house, all these types of like moments, right? Like we said earlier, is like the best memories of like those are right, like seeing your friends winning on stage, right, making it out pools for their first time, right? Those are the moments, right, that are like what make Tekken their thing, like seeing their progress, seeing their victories, right, and then hanging out with them. If you haven't, go to Combo Breaker. I know we're in Florida, but please go to Combo Breaker at least once. If you're not going to that major, you are missing out.
We're trying to go this.
And then at least go to CEO, of course. Like that's kind of mandatory. We live here, but like if you're not going to these things and you're not engaging in the community, right, then you're missing out on the big part of what it means to be in the FGC and what it means to be playing Tekken. Right? All that said, this game's ass.
James ass and I hate my life.
I am addicted. For those who have been long around enough, my name at one point was Stockholm Syndrome.
I was in that like 2 days ago.
No. My 1 year in CEO, I entered as Stockholm Syndrome. My start GG was Stockholm Syndrome, right? Because this game is a horrible addiction, right? It won't let me go, mainly because like there's really nothing to like fill that void now. StarCraft 2 is dead, right? Like we don't really have many single player or like 1v1 games other than fighting games that can fill that competitive, like I have to stress the competitive itch, right?
Yeah.
Because that's how I am as a being. Is that like, and that's the reason why I keep coming back, like because like my friends are like, hey, they're enjoying it, and like, hey, they're like playing it. I'm like, damn, I want to play with my friends, and so I reinstall this crappy game, and then I deal with the crap. But yeah, if there was something there, I would move on so quick, but there's not, and so I'm here, right? But you know, everyone, I didn't have these gray hairs until I started playing Tekken. And for those who don't know, I'm a League of Legends player, right? So I played League of Legends sometimes 16 hours a day, and I didn't get a single gray hair. But then 1 year of Tekken 7, and all of a sudden, coincidence? I think not. Right? But overall, right? If we're rating like on a scale of like positive, you know, things of where Tekken is, I'd rate it like a 6 out of 10 as to what it means to me. And
Gotcha.
you know, go from there.
That 1 up from 5 is the only thing clinging him into.
Luca.
Tekken means a lot to me, but again, similar to Prophet, that main competitive itch, right? Like the Nintendo hit the slam, the Project M development team, so there was no more really Project M. The scene was fractured, so I was kind of like lost, and I just on a whim was like, I'll play the other Namco fighting game that isn't Soul Calibur, because there wasn't no Soul Calibur. And I know what a lot of people are probably thinking as I say that. Soul Calibur 6 came out like a year later. Like, didn't you get into that? And I did a little bit. But at that point, I was too deep into Tekken. Tekken had synced its fangs into me. And I think one thing that Tekken does that's completely unique to it compared to other fighting games that I played MK, I played Street Fighter, I played Guilty Gear, I played Dragon Ball FighterZ. I played a lot of different fighting games, Soul Calibur, etc. The fact that every character has 100 moves, just learning your character is a milestone in and of itself. Having that character match and then utilizing those tools, understanding your tools well enough to then counter whatever 100 moves that Safina's doing, the Hall Rang's doing, the Law is doing, is another thing entirely, right? And the competitiveness plus that feeling of like there's like an infinite ceiling above me, it means a lot, because not only, again, the competitiveness, but like I also was a band kid in school. So I played musical instruments. I played trumpet. I played French horn. And that's another thing that's like, there's an infinite ceiling. You can always get better at it. You can always get a better tone, better proficiency, learn new skills, etc. And I feel like Tekken in particular, like it just, there's the sky is, there's not even the sky. The space is the limit. Like, and that is so cool to me. And that means a lot to me. And then bringing up the Prophet's point as well, too, the community in South Florida. I love this community. I love the chance that I get to do commentary. I like that when I'm fighting like the Central Florida guys in Juicy, that all my South Florida guys behind me are rooting for me. That is so cool to me. Like, all that culminates in this game meaning a lot to me. It's the main multiplayer game that I play. Like, I casually enjoy Call of Duty and Overwatch and other games like that, but at this point in my life, Tekken is the multiplayer game for me. There is, like, I dabble in other fighting games here and there, but Tekken's the multiplayer game. And I have a big backlog of single player, but that's my multiplayer game, and I love it so much.
Please, my Steam list keeps growing, but I can't play them.
But yeah, I love the scene. I love the scene so much. And then also, because of the commentary opportunity there, I'm gonna make another commentary reel. I'm gonna submit it to Convicted of Fun. Shout out Ryan to help me out with that. And I'm gonna try to pursue that. Well, that's another cool thing that they allowed me to do with this scene and with this game. So it does mean a lot to me.
All right, Amanda.
Man, I got a big, I got a big thing for this. So, for me, it's more like what Tekken has done for me and my life, and it's changed things like so much. And it's between my career in general and like my personal life, and I'll start with the career part. But making the heart container and originally just wanting to have this like pop-up cafe thing, and it's become something that it's so much more. Like, now I do tournaments, now I do other big events, and it's all like expanded because I started with those tournaments where I wasn't just vending and I wasn't just doing food. I was like starting to make people happy and like build this whole community and build this thing, and that felt really good to be able to do that and gather all these people and have everybody bond the way that they bond. So it led me into becoming a host and becoming an event organizer and doing all these other things in my life. and being able to travel and go with all these people that I've become really close to, and all these friends in this community, to go stay in like a big house of Tekken that we get, and a big Airbnb for CEO, and get as many Tekken guys in there as possible for us to all like bond and hang out and like spend time with each other and get to know each other, and like travel and cheer each other on while we do our matches, to be able to compete, to be able to be a commentator, be a guest, meet these other like high up organizers like Jabali and Alex with Juicy and all these other people and all these other organizers that I've worked with, and Ryan and Convicted of Fun and SoFlo Dojo, to be able to work with all these like amazing other organizers and see them travel and see them go to these other events and see them be a big part of that. I want to do that, and I want to learn and continue to grow and get into those things. And I've grown from, like I said, this small little like TV setup in a room where me and Jason knew nothing about any of this stuff, and we slowly got into it. We learned and took feedback from players and took feedback from other organizers, to a point where I've got to grow. I've got to be a special guest. Like, people recognize my name. The Heart Containers become so recognizable that they're like, it's the head of Tekken for all of SoFlo, because I've headed it at all of these venues. I've been a TO for Guildhall, for Flynn's, for SoFlo Dojo. I've seeded for all of them. I've done all these tournaments. I've organized all of them. I brought it back from the dead after COVID, all these other things. People have seen me as this like mini celebrity for Tekken, and I don't even play as much as everybody else, and I'm not even like as deep into it because of my time. Not that I don't want to, but it's more like being able to do this for everybody and get that recognition. And it's a big sense of pride for me to have everyone know me and know the Heart Container as the Tekken person, because I ended up caring so much about this one thing that my husband was super into. And to see all of these people and all of them become friends and all of them talk with each other so much and connect on other things because of one game, like one game that we all have in common, that we're able to bond and everything. I think that's a really powerful thing, and I think it's important to have that in life. So career-wise, it's done so much for me, and it's let me travel and do all those things and step up my own brand and do all of that. But in my personal life too, it's also done so much. Like, having this community with everybody, it came after COVID. It came after I was like finishing high school and all this other stuff, and I lost so many friends and so many people, and I ended up connecting with all of these guys and all these people in Tekken so well that some of them have become close personal friends to me, and some of them, all of them, I'm like acquaintances with at least, and consistently talk with them. And I used to have dinners after Tekken and invite everybody so like we could all get to know each other, because I wanted us all to connect. And it's led to me having some close people in my life and close friends, and meeting my partner and all this other stuff, and being able to connect with like love and people I consider as family now too. It's been a big deal to me to connect and just be able to have that with everybody, and everybody still be really cool with each other. And I always try to take whatever feedback people tell me, and I always try to learn, and I'm always trying to adjust. And I know I'm not perfect, and there's like a lot that I have to pick up, but I do care deeply about how everybody feels and how everybody's experiences, and when we get new people, and how people are treated amongst each other and everything. Because, you know, at the end of the day, it's still a game, and I know people get really competitive, but I want everyone to feel comfortable and have a home and be able to enjoy this game. And I've been in the other scenes. I've seen Guilty Gear, I've seen Street Fighter, I've seen all of that, and I feel like they don't have that as strong as we do. Because for Tekken, at least here in SoFlo, I feel like we all connect so well. We're all so cool with each other. We're all willing to teach each other. We don't gatekeep. We're not super toxic or anything. Like, we all actually get along and actually talk with each other outside of the game, and like talk about each other's lives and like help each other out. And I think all of that has just grown so much from the second that it started. And I've done this since like 2020 or so. So it's been like 6 years now, and that's insane to me. And there's so many people I can't imagine not having in my life, you know, because of that. And all of that means the world to me. I want to keep improving. I want to keep learning from everybody. I want to keep listening to whatever feedback. You know, if I ever make anyone unhappy or anything, I want people to tell me about it, because, you know, I don't know, and I don't mean to, and I'm trying to do the best that I can with the little budget I have and a little bit of experience that I have, and I'm trying to pick it up so that I can one day be like CEO in these places and do big regionals and connect people the same way that they've done that for me. So it's been a huge part of my life. Tekken's done that. I never thought one video game would do something like that for my life. A game I didn't even know about like that, you know? So it's crazy.
Well said.
Well said.
Beautifully said, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody can really attest to that feeling here.
100%.
I said I hate this game. What are you talking about?
You know, I think the memory more so, for sure, too. Especially in this recent iteration.
It's the moment, not the trauma.
The moment, not the trauma, yeah.
And, you know, I'll meme and I'll joke with people, you know, and I'll have favorites even as a TO and everything for people when they're fighting and stuff. But I want everyone to know that I do cheer for everybody. And I usually want like an underdog to win or something to mix it up, you know, keep it entertaining. But I do like to see everyone improving and working with each other. And I see it with so many people, like constantly getting better. And even you, Butters, like we were talking about, like you've went from not even playing Tekken like that to loving it to like getting consistently better all the time. Like I've seen so many people just do good. Now Jason Nonentity's like trying to take it more serious and he's ranking a little better lately. Like,
Yeah, can he not do that? Thanks.
I love seeing everybody grow. I love seeing the OGs get back into it and consistently keep coming. You know, the Salt and all the moments with everybody, like, it's funny and we're going to laugh. You know, Salt's always going to be funny. But, like, we're all cool with each other. And I think everybody needs to know that. Like, we all get along. We're all really cool. I love all of you guys. So.
All righty. Thank you, Amanda. Butters.
So for me, Tekken's like a little different than a lot of my other experiences with other fighting games. To give like a quick TLDR, I started playing fighting games. It depends if you argue For Honor is a fighting game, right?
Oh, heck yeah, dude.
But, you know, I'm going to use Core 8 Gaming because they slapped that game on there on the other section all the way to the right. I'm going to put that on there. So I tried For Honor, right? And then eventually I hopped onto Dragon Ball Z Fighters. And I didn't compete on that, but I would play that probably daily. It was definitely an addiction, to borrow a word for. And then I only got to the competitive local scene of it on like the second year of the game. Meeting like Convicted of Fun and Danny Boy and going to Arcade Odyssey as like my first experiences. Yeah, calling that back out. So learning that there, then hopping into Mortal Kombat 11 by meeting Big D at a local mall competition for MK11. Didn't know who he was. This is a repeating thing where I get into a new game, don't know who these people are, and I bump into like world-class players. It's really funny. And then going to locals consistently from then on for Mortal Kombat 11, and then going into Flint and deciding to compete in Guilty Gear for 2 years, and then deciding to compete in Street Fighter 6 for a year and a half, and then now to Tekken 8 and Under Night 2. And I bring that up because I think a friend would say that I'm really in it because I'm in for the love of the game, the love of the fighting game culture of it all. And for me, I picked Tekken 8 in the way that I was curious as to why there was always that argument of Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8, what's the hardest fighting game? And between spending a year and a half in Street Fighter 6, I was curious to finally dip my toes in Tekken 8. And I'll be honest, I thought it wasn't as difficult as people make it out to be. I was like, okay, I've played all these other fighting games. I've gotten out of pools for all these said fighting games. What makes this any more difficult than like a 2D fighter? And I'm now 2 years into a fighting game, right? That's probably the higher number in the previous games. I have some respect for you guys for sure. It is not as easy as it makes it out to be. Granted, Tekken 8, I feel, if correct me if I'm wrong, it's the easiest out of all the other ones, for sure. But I can definitely recognize there's that infinite skill ceiling, as you said, Soldier Luca, that I feel like I didn't see or felt in other fighting games, and that really caught my attention. And something about that just keeps me from coming back to it. I'm 800 hours in, and there's still so much to learn. I feel like other fighting games, I don't feel like there's a. I feel like I'm closer to that ceiling than more other games. So I wanted to bring that up. That's how it's important to me, recognizing that there's a big gap of skill and a lot of knowledge to be had in a fighting game that I feel like I haven't had before. Shout out to Under Night. That game I feel like is also up there in terms of difficulty, just because it's a little crazy. But it's also a more defensive game than our traditional, more modern fighting games, and I find that interesting. So that's what's important to me about Tekken 8. That's why I value it. That and the community, as you said, like the different communities. From your point as a TO, you've gotten to see all the other communities. So then I have that other perspective of being as a player within them. And I can confidently say, yeah, there's a family within Tekken, and I feel that with everybody there, and I really value that. And I think that's why I keep coming back. Honestly, the vibes with the homies at TLT, cracking a beer, getting salty because you got washed by some unreactable mix, and you're like, well, fuck you, but I'm gonna go lab later, man. You're cool as heck still. So yeah, I value Tekken 8 in that way, and I'm happy to share that with you guys on that one.
Well,
800 hours?
Yeah, 800. I'm not happy to say it. I told people Tekken's not my main game, but the hours say otherwise, man.
Oh, I called it. So Tekken, it has a lot of definition to me because I grew up with my dad playing Tekken, whooping my ass with Heihachi, and then I end up just getting the upper hand later on with Steve, but that's not important. But watching it grow from so many different franchises, the live action, the animation, and even a parody of RDC World, where like, oh shit, he's getting kicked with his ass whooped with Z-axis fighting. Like, you see a lot of things impacting with Tekken, and it kind of motivated me always to watch it. Like, I will flick a channel, watch like Knee fight, Pak Chop. I will watch anybody fights. And seeing it also as a TO, it's beautiful to see how like well knit the South Florida scene. I am biased with my own region. Sue me. Sue me. But overall, it's left an impact in me. It's the first game I actually played and got O2'd so badly I never wanted to touch it again. But still, we'll learn how to play it. Like, I'm getting talked into it, and I get easily convinced to play games, which is super funny. And I'm looking forward to see how my journey will go, whether it's good or bad. Probably get O2 for a while, but that's okay. That's okay.
All part of the process.
All part of the process. What about you, Silver?
As for me, I mean, I don't have much to say, other than the fact that, you know, being a tournament organizer, running Tekken, like, you know, it's like Amanda said, like, you never thought that this game with this community that you have grown just, you know, continues to grow, continues to exist, even from back then, like pandemic era up until now. And I'm grateful for it. Like, Tekken was, like, the Tekken community has been there, even though it was small in the beginning. It's been there since the very first Fighter Fest that I've, you know, created and started, and then over the years it has grown tremendously, and I'm still, you know, baffled by it, like, wow. But I'm, you know, very humble and grateful for the Tekken community, and love seeing that we are, you know, still continuing trying to get new faces in, and just, you know, continue on just doing what we just love doing. And with that, I'll just go ahead and end the episode. Thank everyone for watching and tuning in. And I might as well just say this now, since there are people watching. March, Flynn's is most likely back.
Hell yeah.
We love to see that.
March.
Another local?
And like I said, guys, speaking of March 22nd, Tekken Legacy. Just saying, our big
event.
Regional is
Season
coming
3.
back. We do it every 6 months, and we get hella money and prizes, a custom wrestling belt trophy, all kinds of shit. We get people traveling from Jacksonville. It's hype. It is the hypest Tekken event.
So don't pick that weekend to start.
Oh no, it's gonna happen earlier.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
because
please.
we are going from season 2 launch into that. I forget. I
The
think
Tekken Tour event. It was the first weekend after
Yeah.
season 2.
Oh.
And now it's going to be
But
the
then
next
also,
week. Season 3.
Guildhall is also that Saturday, right?
Is it? I don't know.
I think he just announced it.
GC's the week after, too.
Yeah, right? And then
Hella
the
Tekken.
juicy regional is literally the next week.
Hella Tekken for all of you guys, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with that being said, first of all, to all of our guests here, thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day and being a part of this episode. I apologize for the communication part
It's all good.
on my part and whatnot, because I thought didn't I already send it or whatnot?
Man's had to come 30 minutes later, and we all thought it was because of him.
It's okay. I could speed like crazy.
Thank you for having us, man.
Not
For
a
legal reasons,
problem,
it's a
not
joke.
Problem.
For always.
But everyone else that are watching on YouTube, yo, appreciate y'all for pulling up and coming through. I do want to, give a shout out to Ultima Wielder, Trinity EXE, Vicious Vixen, IR David Lulls, Astronomical, Stonefire,
My boy Stone.
Trinity. Shout out to y'all for pulling up and coming through in the chat and whatnot.
The
Love
Tekken
it.
crew, baby.
Just make sure, on your way out, you hit the like button and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I appreciate y'all. And of course, I will also say this. We will have another Tekken cast. Of course, we'll have, 4 new people this time. So you never know who I'm going to invite. It's me, Natty. All right.
So Natty's like, yeah, bro, I'm about to Doria here.
Shout out Natty.
Definitely. And with that being said, go to y'all locals.
Play more
Show up.
Tekken.
Play more Tekken.
Learn to block.
Join us, Florida Tekken Discord.
And let's hope that season 3 is a banger. Because if not,
Fingers
then,
crossed. I got hope.
We're all praying. It's okay. We're going to play anyway because we like to suffer. It's fine.
I have hope.
Alrighty, y'all. We are signing out. This is episode 171 of the South Florida Gamers Podcast. We are out.
Peace. Beautiful.
I have the piece so
I was sitting here wondering. I was like looking at all your empty water bottles. I was like, do y'all not?
I had to pee.
I was like, why isn't he drinking water?
Coming up, man.